If you think you're tough enough, join Jackie Chan Stunt Team. Watch this.
All right, how's it going, Nathan? Welcome back, mate. Welcome back.
Oh, good, brother. How you doing? You all right?
I'm all right. I'm a bit sweating hot. Is it boiling hot where you are?
Yeah, it's roasting up here as well. It's like a lot of the days are just like roasting, and we have like 1 or 2 days of like just chucks it down with rain, and it's back to being baking hot at the minute.
Yeah, well, it is boiling hot, and the rain it sort of warms things up, in my opinion. It makes it more humid, doesn't it? It cools it down when it's happening, and then once it's gone, it's all boiling hot again.
Yep,
So
that's it.
I'm all sweats, but I'm here to doing chats about Chan, more Chan chats.
Yep.
So thanks for coming back, mate. I really, really appreciate it as usual. You're very, very kind to come back and do more chats. Last time, I think we were chatting about Chan's garden and all the wonderful things that happened in that garden, and all the wonderful little trinkets and mementos that are all over that garden. And you allowed people, including myself, to live through you and experience that inch by inch walking through that garden. So brilliant. Thanks for that. That's where we got to. We've obviously done one previously about how this all came about, how you got invited to it, even things down to your trip and everything. We've done a lot, the grub, but we still got more. So we're outside. I'm going to hand it over to you to tell me where would you like to sort of start on the next bit? So we've had the outside bit. I mean, what do you want to do now? Do you want to head inside, what it's like inside, or do you want to start with assignments? Let me know. I'll leave it up to you.
Let's go inside. Last time we spoke about all the posters on the wall and everything, and we spoke about all the bits and pieces on the tour. So I think we're pretty much ready now to go into training. I think we're at the training part now.
Yeah, the reason you're there, I suppose. I mean, there's many reasons you're there, isn't there? But this is one of many reasons that you turned up and why you were given that T-shirt. You weren't given that T-shirt to sit there with your feet up, eating the best grub ever and drinking tea.
No, right? Definitely not.
Yeah. So tell me what happened.
Yeah, so basically, like in terms of our session, obviously we got introduced to Hejun and the rest of the JC Stunt Team. And on day one, it was really kind of like about them seeing what our skill level was like. But within this kind of context, like because of who makes up the JC Stunt Team at this moment in time, the session was very like wushu heavy. So when we went into it, we were doing a lot of stances and a lot of wushu movements, and we were told at the beginning of the session that Hejun, the kind of like the leader of the JC Stunt Team in this stunt camp, he was basically going to go around. He's going to be making notes on each and every one of us. So basically, as we were doing our movements and things, we had Hejun going around with a little clipboard and piece of paper, just writing down notes and things like that. Oh. So yeah, obviously, it's like if you had experience in wushu, you were in advantage, in terms of you've done a lot of the techniques and the skills before. Quite a few people had. There was a few of us that hadn't as well, and I was one of the people that hadn't.
Right.
So yeah, it was hardcore, and with the the warm up lasted forever, and that was something that would kind of like end up being a bit of a trend for like every day. The warm up was ages, and it was like really stance heavy, like really stance heavy, and like a lot of the instructors didn't speak much English, so a lot of the time it was very much them just speaking to us in Chinese and us just picking it up as we go along through their movements, but also through their gesticulation and through their words as well. They say like a couple of words in English, but it was mainly in Mandarin. And
okay, hold on, hang on. Yep. Right, so that's very interesting. Something that I was wondering how they were going to deal with, because you told me how many different types of nations were there. So I thought to myself, they might have a translator there, or one of them's going to be able to speak English. So that's what I thought was going to happen, because you'll take care of Australia, probably some of the other European countries grow up learning English in school. You take care of quite a few things, English Americans and stuff. So I thought they would have. I'm also not surprised that they didn't have,
Yeah. Well, no, actually, they did have a translator there who was there saying, kind of like translating some of, I guess, the more complex things. But for the
Yeah.
most part, they would only come in and chime in on the more complex stuff. For the
Right.
most part, it was literally just having to just get the gist of what they were saying and things like that, and
Yeah.
yeah, just following their movements for a lot of the time. But
Yeah.
if there
Because
was
if
something that
you
was really complex, we had a translator there as
okay,
well.
so yeah, it was available if necessary, and that makes sense because thinking about it from an outsider's point of view, I could. There's so many things being said constantly by so many different people. How's translator going to keep up with all
Mhm.
that? You know, so it makes sense that you just went off of body language and pointing,
Mhm.
and and let's face it, with a lot of the stuff you've done with the partially like the deaf and the blind people, this is something that you have probably had not that much problem with it, right?
No, that's in my wheelhouse, you know. So for
Yeah.
me, it was just pretty straightforward and things. You would just pick up as you went along, really, and things. And anybody that couldn't speak 1 to 10 or 1 to 20 in Mandarin, they sure learned by the end by the end of that camp. That's for sure, because
Numbers,
there was
yeah.
a lot of repetition with the numbers and then counting backwards and stuff when we were counting down from things. But yeah, the first the warm up was like really stance heavy. We were in the horse stance for quite some time, in like bow stances, drop stances, resting stances, empty stance. We were in all the major, I guess, wushu stances and kung fu stances. Um,
I mean, I think
for
we like that, don't we? Because me and you have grown up watching Fu Sheng kneeling outside the Shaolin temple until
yeah,
he can't. When he gets up, he falls over. So we quite like this stuff, and we also know that in these films and actually learning martial arts, that you spend a lot of time in horse stance. And when you
mm,
learn martial arts in this country, for example, or in Western countries, you don't spend that much time doing that because they know that you're going to turn up. In my case, it was £5 at the time. Turn up to a class, and you ain't going to want to stand in horse stance the whole time. Now, because I
mm,
grew up on kung fu films, I kind of would have thought that was all right until someone did it. One bloke did it when the Sifu was off, and he just did an hour of horse, and it was terrible. Right. I mean, I don't know. I mean, he never said anything either. That's the other thing. He just stood at the front, got into horse, so everyone else got into horse, and that was it. And then it was,
mm.
yeah, nice one. See you later. Done. There were no chats or nothing. He did the odd grin every now and then. He sort of grinned because he knew what he was doing. And I thought to
Mhm.
myself, terrible. But I also understood it and went, well, without this, you've got nothing. But if you're only going a couple of times a week, it's hard to do these things. So we
Yeah,
know
yeah,
the
yeah.
importance of it, but it is hard to do loads of that stuff, if you know what I mean, all the time. So for them to put that in the warm up goes to show how important they think this stuff is and the training
Yeah.
they've obviously been through themselves.
Big time, big time. And a lot of those people that are part of the JC Stunt Team are like wushu champions and things as well. So their foundation is like super solid. Um, and even some of the like exercises they were putting in were like kind of like coordination exercises as well to really test the coordination. And there was a couple that threw us when we started off, but obviously over a few days we managed to get the hang of them. But yeah, some of them were like almost like patting your head and rubbing your tubby, but on steroids in terms of one arm going in one direction, one arm going in another. But basically, so it was really like wushu heavy, and we had like Hejin going around making all the notes and things. And basically, we got told that. So we were told that what he was doing was he was kind of like identifying people's, I guess, strengths and weaknesses and things. And then based on that, we got told at the end of that day that we would be put into families. So these like families of five. And in China, Jackie's known as Dage, which is obviously Big Brother, and because obviously of his status in terms of filmmaking. Um, and so within this, you had there were going to be 6 people chosen to be Dages, so to be like the big brothers of each family.
Okay.
And it was their responsibility to kind of like lead their family, take care of them, make sure everyone's all right, make sure everybody's behaving well and things like that. Basically, it was like your responsibility and things. So there was kind of like that going on in the back of our minds while we're doing all these wushu heavy movements and things. And like I say, for a lot of us, there wasn't that much scope for us to shine doing our own stuff until right towards the end of the day, where, because basically at one point we had to travel the length of the carpet doing movements, and then travel back doing movements. And then we literally had one go to showcase what we could do traveling up the carpet, and then one go traveling back. And that was pretty much it to showcase what we could do. The rest of the time, it was literally follow what the Sifus were doing and things.
Okay, this is so the moves on the red carpet is after warm up, yeah.
Green carpet, yeah.
Oh, sorry, green, yeah, okay, yeah, okay. Red to get you in, green for training, maybe, yeah. But okay, so there's a green carpet, and you've done the warm up, so you can't be expected to do all that, and then you got asked to do stuff. Now, when you got asked to do that, show us what you can do. Was you given any sort of direction, or was it free reign? It's up to you.
Just had to travel from one end to the other, and that was it. But Hejun said, okay, this is now your time to show us what you can do. And obviously you had
just your, because you broke up there, so just you they didn't tell you what to do. It's your free, you do whatever you like. Yeah,
you just travel doing whatever style, whatever skills you want to do.
Oh my god, what a decision! Because this decision, you think of the things you choose. You could go, I'll do this all the way, and oh, hang on a minute, means I ain't done a bit of that. And how much time did you get to register? You know, how much time between being told in a minute you're going to have to go on that green carpet and show me what you do? How much time did you have to think about it?
When it was your turn, that was it. Because everybody obviously had to line up. We had like 3 lines going at once. So 3 people going at once, and then you get to the other end, then you all line up. And then they get 3 people go at a time, and you all line up. So as soon as you got told, we were just like, oh shit, okay. And then you had to go in freeze and just do your own thing, innit? So I was like, right, well, I'm going for mine then. You know, I'm going to put in some breaking and kung fu combined together. So that's
because it's your thing, like a bit of an identity, something that should, you're hoping, I guess, make you stand out a little bit, because it's something a little bit different you can offer. Now, the wushu stuff, just before you go on this carpet, because otherwise I'll forget. So the whole wushu thing, I know that you've told me before that you're, you know, Wing Chun bloke, as your initial base. But I'm guessing that the breaking helped you out there with the lack of wushu, if you like.
Yeah, like in terms of being able to articulate my body and move it in various ways, like the breaking definitely did help. Didn't really help much in terms of stances. A lot of stuff we do is on our hands. But in terms of like coordination, the breaking helped massively for sure. And then so like I said, we had 2 attempts. And so on my first attempts, I just did like, you know, just breaking, just combined with some like kung fu stuff. And then we were going to go back, and I was like, right, this time I'm going to put drunken style breaking in with the kung fu. But before it got to my turn, right, some guy went and did some wushu with some drunken style in, and then was like, hey, and I was like, shit, all right, I guess I'm not going to do that. So I was like, fair enough, fine, because basically what we did it the first time, then Hejun was like, okay, now go back again and do it better this time for everybody. So you know what you're doing, so go do it better. So you have to level up. So I was just like, okay, I'm not going to do like, you know, drunken breaking, because obviously someone's already gone out and done drunken style and got loads of props for it. So I was like, I need to stand out more. So
did the people sort of?
Yeah. We were all, so basically what was great about this camp is we were all on the same side. In the sense that we were all encouraging each other. You know, if one person was like, you know, struggling, we were like, yo, come on, you got this, you can do this. And what was funny is like, I ended up, so I was doing all the like all the exercise, all the training stuff leading up to it and everything, but because of the numbers were slightly odd at one point, because some people were still yet to arrive, I ended up being right at the very last at one point. And because I was right at the very end, everybody had finished and they were all cheering me on like I was the one that was struggling and straggling behind. I'm like, oh, this is my position in the
line. Come on, you can do it. You can do it.
Exactly.
I just ain't had to go yet. Brilliant.
So I was just like, nah, man, I'm not having this. So I ended up like pushing in the line a little bit. So I wasn't at the very back again. So I was like, oh,
Of course, it was all done with the nicest intentions, right?
yeah, totally, totally.
Yeah.
So I've got a funny story to tell you about one of the guys in one of the stretching exercises. But well, I'll get to that in a bit. So
Yeah, don't forget it though. Stretching exercises story. Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry, I won't forget. Right, so first time, obviously, like I said, did the break, and the other person did the drunken wushu, and then everyone was cheering. So I was like, man, okay, I'm gonna have to do something else. So I was like, that's fine, all right, I'll do a snake style break.
Scared to go up against him, was you, Nathan? Oh,
I wasn't scared to go up against nobody. I was just
listen,
like,
I'm just asking the question. That's all. It's like, before he's drunken and went, yeah, better not do drunken as it goes. I'll leave that one.
yeah. But it wasn't because I didn't think I could match it, because I knew I could, because he couldn't do breaking, so I could put drunken breaking in, which is something different. I was like, I want to do something different. I want to show that I can do something else. Because I was thinking there'll be another opportunity for me to show that kind of stuff anyway. So I was like,
maybe it's the other side of the fence here. Maybe you didn't want to outshine him. You maybe just thought, look, we're in this together. Don't make me do my drunken after you're drunken, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna mash you up,
Well, for me, it was just like I've got like baggage, I guess. I've got range. So I was like, I'm not. My specialism isn't only in drunken breaking. So I was just like, okay, well, let me just leave that to the side for a moment and let me do, like I say, some snake style and some popping. So I was doing all this kind of stuff with it. So I just went and did
brilliant.
that.
Thanks for the demo. You could do a little bit more if you want. Yeah.
Yeah, you know how it goes.
Yes. Oh, yeah. You're brilliant.
Yeah, you know, right? So,
I like the best.
Yeah. Sounds, yeah.
Right? Had to be had to be done. And then you even done the diving.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Come on, brilliant, mate. I love it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, of course.
Snake noises. Was you doing snake noises in your head? Was you doing the snake noises?
Yeah, of course. I think I was actually saying it as I was doing it.
Yeah, brilliant. I love it, of course.
Yeah, and what I did as well with it was, because it was such a distance to travel, and quite a few people they were traveling like at a pace as they were doing stuff, doing flips and somersault landing. I was like, nah, mate, I'm taking my time. So I was literally like, really getting like the energy of the snake involved in it and everything I was doing. So I was just like really like articulating stuff. So for me,
that's good then, because you like, we know in kung fu films, because you've grown up watching them, that a big part of the kung fu movies is ba 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 bum boom ba 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 bum bum. It's the finish. It's the end. So
yeah, exactly.
I like it.
Yeah, and I wanted to also showcase that I could like embody the spirit of the snake as well with it. So, and obviously that comes, not only within the striking, but also within the pauses and the moments and and even like the head moving and stuff like that, So really paying attention to those details and, hoping that they'd kind of like see what I was doing with that and stuff. And I feel they did. So yeah, that was kind of like what we had to do towards the end in terms of showcasing our stuff. I think then we went and had a break for lunch, and then when we came back, they basically picked the dargers, the 6 dargers, and obviously because I was the dude at the back and I was struggling, I couldn't do all the wushu stuff. Like some of the people would just do like incredible like somersaults and butterfly twists and flips and next level 540, 720 kick, like incredible stuff. So I was just like, okay, right, well, if this is going on like pure physical ability in terms of being virtuosic with wushu, I've only had like 2 moments to travel up and down and show something different, but the rest of it I was just like, yeah, all right, and then they chose the dargers, and mine was the second name to be called as darger. I couldn't believe it. So out of the 30 people, I got chosen to be a darger, a big brother, which I was. Yeah,
and it makes you think, right, how those decisions affected that outcome. And we know that Chan, he's the best at snake. I've not seen better snake than Chan. The guy's amazing at it, right? And look at what you just did there. You did it, right? You said, I'm going to concentrate on this. And when you did this, you see, all this stuff I'm sure they picked up on it, right? I'm sure they picked up on it. They would have seen when you're doing it. I mean, I kind of know you enough now. I bet you was totally gone.
Mm.
You know, you said about the embodiment, like you were kind of
Yeah.
monkey possessed type thing. You know, I bet
Mhm.
you were gone. That didn't matter that there were people there. Didn't matter that there was clipboard blokes there. You were in, right? I mean, brilliant, mate.
Yeah, I mean that's why I could take my time with it, you know, because I was just like, right, I'm just doing me justice at this moment in time. I'm just doing my technique, my style, my take on the snake style, combined with breaking. I'm just doing that to the fullest, and that's it. If this is my time to show me, I'm gonna take my time showing me. You know?
It's
So
interesting
that's
though,
what I did.
because so they didn't give you a time limit. They just said back there, no time
Yeah.
limit. And you
Yeah.
had the presence there to go, well, I don't need to, you know, forward roll down here, front flip down here, do bum bum bum
Mhm.
bum bum back flip down here, because that's my time done, right? So it'd be
Yeah.
very impressive to go don 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 somersault all the way down it, wouldn't
Yeah.
it? Right? It would
Mhm.
be
Yeah.
really impressive finish, bomb. But well, that's done.
Mhm.
You showed you can acrobat, you know. So yeah, it's a good way of thinking about it. Do you think you would have done the same thing if you were first up?
Um, well, like I said, if I was first up, I probably would have done the drunken breaking, but because that was what was in my mind. That was what was in my mind's eye. But when I saw him do it, I was like, okay, let me switch it up. And I'm glad I did. I really
Yeah,
am, because what I what I was really keen on doing was just showing how different I was. Excuse me, to like other people there. Like everybody had their own uniqueness, so I really wanted to show what my uniqueness was.
mm,
And so within that kind of context, I was like, okay, the best way for me to do that is to make sure I don't try and be similar to anybody else. So that's why I didn't choose to do the drunken style when the other guy had done the drunken style. I was
yeah,
like, okay, let's like let's not make it a space for comparison. Let's make it a space for them just to appreciate everybody's differences. And so that's what I
mm,
did. I was like, okay, well, I'm going to highlight my difference within this kind of context. And there's, you know, that's this day one. There's much more for them to see. So let's just start like that. So that's kind of like how I was, and what that kind of like ended up being my, I guess my drive for the whole camp was, okay, how can I stand out and utilize my individuality, but at the same time is obviously, because when I became Darger, all of a sudden there was all this extra responsibility on my shoulders, you know. And I was why, like, so if I go back into, and that all that will be revealed the more I talk. So if I go back into, you know, being that chosen as Darger, I was like the second person up to be chosen as Darger. And even I think within being that, I think there was only me and maybe one other person who wasn't there the year before that was a Darger. So again, we were kind of like newbies coming in. Maybe there was one other, but I'm sure there was only me and another person. Everybody else had already been there the year before who were chosen as Dargers.
right,
So again, like
yeah.
new kid on the block. Now the next thing was, so we got chosen as the Dargers first, and then what ended up happening was they were like, right, now you got to go and choose the rest of your family. So it was like they were going to choose and put us in families. We had to go out and choose. So it's like picking teams in football, mate. So
Mm,
I was
yeah,
just like, oh man, because I was like, okay, it's one thing to be a Darger, but now I've got to go and, you know, choose who's going to be in my family. But obviously, they've all got the right to refuse. Like if they want to be in somebody else's family, they could turn around and be like, yeah, thanks, but nah, mate, it's all right. I'll go and be in somebody
could
else's
they?
family.
Could they?
Yeah,
Did you see that happen at all?
yeah. Well, basically, what it was it was just up to us. So this is what happened with my group. So I must have gone like, oh man, I hope I get someone. This is going to be tricky. I looked up and I had 6 people come that wanted to be part of my family. Now, bearing it, was it? No, 5 people who wanted to be my family. Now, bear in mind, we had to have a family of 5, right?
Mm, yeah.
So I had one extra. So I was just like,
Ooh,
oh, well, this is a great problem to have, because I don't have to
mm,
worry about choosing people and people rejecting, you know, me and stuff. It's more now about, okay, how do I decide who's going to be in my family with people that I haven't seen before today, or maybe one or two yesterday, you know, and that
yeah.
was it. So again, it was it was kind of like the opposite problem to what I thought I would have. I thought it'd be me growing up being like trying to persuade people to come to my family. But now it was like the problem I had was, okay, how do I choose who not to be in the family? And so the more time that we were all spent there trying to get to know each other, but trying to decide who was going to be in the family, it ended up being this one guy. He just ended up volunteering and just saying, look, I don't mind. It's cool. I'll go and be in somebody else's family. It's cool. I can just go and be in their family and things. So that was a bit of a relief as well in terms of, okay, I didn't have to make that cut.
Yeah, I'm not going to
so,
ask you who was on the chopping blocks because you never know who could be watching. But in your mind, you would have had to start making a decision. And the thing is, it was like an instant test for you, weren't it? So you got chose to be the big brother, the leader of your little family group, and instantly you got a job straight away. Well, now you got to choose your people. So you kind of got tested instantly. And some people would have cracked under that and gone, well, I don't know what to do. And they would have gone, man, maybe you're not the right person to lead. But what was it like when you got chosen? Give me the feeling. The second you heard it, so did you shout your name out?
Yeah. So so basically, because I obviously knew what my performance was like overall on that day leading up to that, and like I said, there was far more physically capable people doing stuff, and like there was people hitting the choreography quicker and better than what I was in terms of because of the speed of what is going on and the athleticism what these people had and things. So I was just like, oh man, like I ain't done good. Like, okay, it's fine. I'm not going to be Dargo. That's all right. But that don't mean that I'm not going to still shine like a motherfucker in this. And then my name got called up as Dargo. So I was just in shock. Like my heart was in my mouth kind of thing. And obviously because Jackie is called Dargo as well. So that was kind of like a big honor because I felt almost like that bit closer to, Jackie and, his status, not the right word, but where he is in relationship to kind of like to his brothers in terms of, but also it made me realize really quickly like what the responsibility that he has as being Dargo as well, which is like a big responsibility. Like everything just came as soon as like that euphoria was on me. All of a sudden, the responsibility went, and I was like, right, okay, I need to take this shit real serious, man.
Responsibility. Yeah,
big time, because obviously if I'm the Dargo, I've got to try my best to do a good job and make sure that it's not just about me. I've got to make sure that my whole family shines. And I was very adamant that I wanted each of my family members to have their own moments to shine. So that was but obviously
that makes a good leader, a good big brother, that because it's about the team, right? They
Yeah,
didn't say you can go off on your own. You had a team of people. So already look at your attitude to it. It's like, well, I've got to make everybody shine here, everyone together. So yeah, brilliant.
Yeah, 100%. Obviously, the tricky thing was we didn't know what the tasks were going to be. So we didn't know kind of like who would be shining within what context and when. And obviously, I had to get to know these people over a really short space of time to kind of find out, okay, how can I make them shine, but also how do they want to shine? So there was a real steep learning curve, a real steep learning curve. But again, we'll get into more of that in a little bit. So what happened next, if I recall, was we basically watched a video of and fight Drunken Master. So I was just like, what is this? What is my life right now? Because I was just like, this is absolutely incredible. My favorite film, my favorite film of all time. And because I knew that last year they had emulated Fearless Hyena, like the end fight of Fearless Hyena. And to get Drunken Master, which is my all-time absolute favorite movie, I was just like, this is like a dream come true for me right now.
Yeah, it could have been any film. I mean, it could be that they just use Drunken Master every year. But you've just one of my questions, but you've just said no, they don't. It's Fearless Hyena before, but you Drunken Master. But you can't just tell me we watched a video. What are we saying here? Well, watched a video on an iPad?
No. So it was on a big giant TV screen.
Right.
I was put into the middle of the training hall. We were all sat down and we were watching we were watching Drunken Master. The end
whole
fight.
end fight, yeah?
Just one section of it. Just one
Just
section
one
of it.
section. Okay.
And then basically we were like told, okay, so you're going to learn this section of choreography now. So you just got to get into groups. You don't have to be with your family at this moment. You just have to pair up. And obviously, because there was 5 in our family, it was kind of like odd numbers. So not everybody could be with their family members, anyways. So I was like, okay, fine. Let the families, my family, go with each other, and I'll go with somebody else and things. So we were learning the choreography, the movements, and obviously we both had to be different characters. So one time we had to learn Freddie Wong's part, and the other person would learn Thunderfoot's part, and then we'd switch. Another person would learn Thunderfoot's part, another person would learn Freddie Wong's part. And I'm not gonna lie, right? You know which part I played, but I loved playing Freddie's part. I loved it. Right?
Of
But
course.
yeah.
You're the best, because the best thing there is Freddie Wong and Thunderfoot. You see what I mean? This is right. There's no way they were playing the rank English dub. There's no way, right? There's no way.
No. It was Mandarin. It was Chinese. It was Chinese I played.
Right, but you're still like, yep, Freddie Wong and Thunderfoot. Brilliant.
Of course, man. Of course. Yeah.
Now, if this is on the big screen and all of you have been given this same project to mimic this choreography, these movements, how are you all getting access? Can you watch this as many times as you like? You can't all watch the same TV. How does it work?
So what happened was we watched it, and then, like it is in Kung Fu films, they were like, right, now you got to learn it all. Now practice. Now I'm joking. I'm lying. Now, right, basically.
That would be the worst. It would be okay for you because you actually know it, but yeah.
So we watched it once on the screen, and then we had 2 of the Laoshers, so 2 of the Sifus, the teachers. They basically took us through it step by step. So, but because it was the end of the day, we only learned a few moves. So I think there was like 3 sections. We only learned like section 1, and so we learned section 1, and but only as one person staying as Freddie, one person staying as Thunderfoot. So we learned section 1, and that was it. So we'd finished. We wrapped up on that day. Obviously, leaving on a high and stuff. I said to my family, I was like, "Yo, let's practice the other 2 sections just so we're ready." So like, our homework. Even though we're done for the day, I was like, let's have some homework. Let's go up to a spot in a hotel and keep practicing. We had this meeting room. We called it the VIP suite for us. We said it's our VIP suite, because that's where we just lived pretty much when we were together as a family. If we weren't training at Jackie's place, we were in there rehearsing, editing, doing all kinds of stuff. But yeah, so we basically we learned the other 2 sections.
In that room, the Drunken Master clip is available to watch.
No, we just put up on our phones, and we were just watching it on our phones from then onwards. Obviously, because when we finished at Jackie's place, we had to go back to our hotel. So it was just a case of, right, well, we were just gonna have to get up on our phones, and so that's what we did.
Yeah.
And then so we did that. So then day 2 come in again. It started with stance work, like warm-ups, like balance exercises, trying to figure out where our balance was, and we were just absolutely battering us and things. And like they said something. I think they said this to us. I think it was on day 2, and this has really helped me. Basically, so whenever, because there was like what they did was they literally every day they took us to our physical limit, our absolute physical limit. If you could do this, you'd have to go and try and do the splits. If you do the splits, you'd have to oversplit, get to that absolute physical limit, that point of pain, and then push you beyond it. And then the next day, so this was your absolute limit on day 1, they push you beyond it. So then this is your absolute limit on day 2, then they push you beyond it. So then it's your absolute limit on day 3, and it was just like that. And it was relentless, man.
Yeah.
And like the stretching was murder. Like day 1 was hard. Day 2 was treacherous, mate. Like I remember we had to go and do I had to do the side splits, and hold it at our point of limit for 3 minutes. And 3 minutes don't seem like a long time, but when you're in it, it was an eternity. Like a minute horse stance can be a long time for a lot of people, but when you're literally when we were in this point of like our physical limit, like the inside of my thighs were just trembling, just purely trembling, and it got to the point, and like I say, I think this day was the hardest for me because this is when my mind and my body was trying to get around what was happening. Yeah. So I was just shaking. Now, normally what would happen is when my body gets to that point, when I'm in that, and everything just starts doing like convulsions and shaking, I'm like, okay, that's my physical limit. I stop. No, not allowed. You have to carry on. And so you were just trembling and shaking. Yeah. And then what would happen is after about 30 seconds, your muscle would just stop. It just stop shaking. And then you go deeper. And then a new muscle would just start. And then you'd be stuck there and you'd be in so much pain. And then like everyone was like screaming, ah, all this kind of stuff. Yeah. And then it got to the point where 3 minutes was up, and to get out of it, you literally had to crawl onto your stomach and then use your arms to physically pull one leg in and then pull the other leg in because you were that incapacitated. And they were like, come on, jump up quick as you can, jump. And couldn't do it. And I was screaming my head off because I was in so much pain. And like I was slowly getting, and then this dude from the camp, wasn't my family, but this dude from the camp, he comes up and tries to pull me off the floor like I'm James fucking Brown. Couldn't believe it. I was just like he's like, I got you, brother. I got you. It's okay. I got you. It's American dude. And like big love and respect him because he obviously had the, he had the best heart.
Yeah.
But I was just like thinking, dude, you're making me look weak in front of everybody. I was just like, this is shit. I was just like, literally picking me up. I was like, nah, man.
He wasn't doing that yourself by screaming out in pain. You know what I mean? He was the one making you look weak. You're screaming out before he got you. No, that was strength. Yeah.
That was great. That was me pushing beyond my limits.
Yeah, it was, beyond your limits. But also, you needed to be able to get up in your own time, not being dragged up because, oh, mate, how did you guys? No one got injured from that stuff.
Right. So so check this out. Right. So what happened was he so I said to him afterwards, I goes, bro, thank you so much. I really appreciate you helping me up off the floor. Don't ever do it again though. He was like, what? I was like, brother.
I love it. Brilliant.
I was like, brother, this is an opportunity for me to build my spirit. So I really need to do this by myself now. Unless I'm screaming, bro, come pick me up, get me out of this shit right now. Don't matter how much I scream, don't come and help me, please. And he was just like, okay, brother, yeah, I understand, I got you, and stuff like that. Yeah, but I was like, I had to, because I really wanted to be able to find that strength within, rather than having that opportunity taken away from me. He all he was doing was trying to help. Do you know what I mean?
No, he's been brilliant. His was totally within the spirit of the camp.
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Helping people out, brotherhood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
I mean, brilliant bloke, but you just had to let him know. Look, I want more out of this, and don't do that again. Listen, brilliant. Thank you very much. You're the best bloke ever. Don't do that again, though, right?
Yeah, totally. He understood. And we're good friends. We're good friends. I'm actually going to visit him out in the States next week.
Nice.
But yeah, so that was it in terms of pain. Like it was literally it just got to the point where every day it was just beyond physical. It was just pure mental and spiritual every day, and that was because it was like every day was pain, and it was literally about your willpower to go through that, and that was it, man. That was
this is brilliant. I've got the opportunity of a lifetime, man. Every day was pain.
dude, like I'm not even lying. Like, so I had to.
Very good.
Right, honestly, right, Steve, I've never ever in my life woke up every single day and been like, right, looks like I got to make friends with pain again today. And that was it. That was my mindset every day. It's like, okay, I know I'm going to be pushed to my absolute physical limit, spiritual limit, and emotional limit, and I've just got to go through it. There's no other way. There's no, because the thing is, because obviously, and with the caliber of people in the room, I'm not on about the JC stunts. I'm on about the people that were on the camp. Yeah, like I said, we were like top 30 in the world that were chosen. Yeah. Nobody was backing down from anything. So nobody wanted to be that one person to give up. Be like, no, that's it. Nobody wanted to be that person. Nobody. So we were literally just raising each other's games as well within that kind of context. So
yeah. I see what you mean. So that also kept you sharp because you're reading the room, looking around, and going, no. If you ain't getting up, I ain't getting up. And there is something to be said for that. Look, if you're gonna, pull your hamstring, tear your hamstrings, maybe you have to. But also, as you say, this was a test. And look, if it was me, I'd trust them. You do know your own, well, you believe you know your own limits. And you've just explained to me there that you thought you knew your own limits. But I'm guessing you learnt that you didn't.
It's great. Like, so I always say, like, this table, like, you're greater than you could ever imagine. I always say that to people.
You do?
Like,
yeah. That
was a real test in all of us being greater than we could ever imagine. Because it was like, even though I've said that so many times in my lifetime, I never been tested in that way with it, And in terms of what I guess my capacity for pain was and being pushed to my limit, greater than I could imagine. And my brothers and sisters, they'll say the same, greater than they could ever imagine, because it really did open our eyes of, wow, okay, we thought we were using our full potential, but we were nowhere near using our full potential, And that was incredible. I'll always be grateful for the JC Stunt Team for bringing that out of us. They really did bring the best out of us, 100%.
Yeah, because you wouldn't go there on your own. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't go there on your own because, well, you just, like you say, you feel you've reached your max, but there was lots of different ingredients pushing you to do more, and to see how far you could truly go. Look, it does surprise me because it's an organized training camp. It does surprise me that there's that. It's just all I could see was tendons and muscles tearing and snapping. That's all I could hear. Especially as I've had torn and torn hamstrings loads and whatever, lower back problems and sciatica and all sorts. And so I told you I could never do this camp. But I'm listening to what you're saying and thinking, I just couldn't do it. I mean, look, I'm listening to you though, right? And you're telling me, no, you're greater than you think you are. I'm listening to you. I'm taking it on board. But I'm just saying, injury-wise, I'm like, man, this is going to pull on all of those injuries. And I could feel them all pulling, all ripping, all tearing. And I think to myself, here on this organized camp that you pay for, but in a way, it don't surprise me because you got to come back from the stories. Where did you go? Oh, I just went on some training camp. No, where did you go? The Jackie Chan training stunt team. And to me, that's what they've done. They've sent you back. Look what you've said. Pain every day, but you're grateful for it. So they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, 100%. And like, so I'll fast forward a little bit and I'll come back in a second because talking about injuries and stuff like you mentioned and things. So end of day 2, we were all feeling it. Like, and waking up to day 3 was just hell. So basically, like, you remember in Shaolin Temple, like the Shaw Brothers one with Fu Shengen, yeah?
I remember.
You remember the dude that had the weights around his legs, and he does a flip, and he does, oh yeah, check this out, and he goes all his weight, and he does a backflip on his legs, right? And then the next day he comes back with even more weights on his legs, and he's dragging himself through, and everyone's laughing. Yeah, right. So
how he was showing off, wasn't he? He was showing off.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is why I've been having these weights on my legs all day. It's like, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, come back next day. He's all back up.
That is wicked.
So that's how we was all feeling. That's how we was all moving our legs because we couldn't. By the end of day 2, a lot of us were struggling to walk properly. And like we were having conversations on day 3 around the breakfast table, saying, "Yo, man, if they carry on like this, something's gonna snap." Like, I don't think I can carry on. Like, something is literally going to snap because as well,
you all understand injuries and stuff, so you all know what can happen. Yeah.
And how they're stretching us, like they're using like a whipping technique, So it's not like you just lean down and you stretch. So like for
Oh,
example,
okay,
like
yeah,
it's not
yeah.
like you're just going down and doing that. It's like you're going slap, slap. Yeah, you just
Oh, yes, yes. Okay, but admittedly, after warm up and stuff like that. But even so, yeah, that's
that's our warm up.
oh,
That's part of our warm up.
but yeah, it's, too, it's from 0 to 100. You know what I mean? It's too extreme. You
Yeah,
know, we're
like
used to take a deep breath in, breathe out, hold, take a deep breath in, breathe out. You know, we're used to that. Not bang.
We warm up like top to toe. So we may warm up just going like san se all that stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
same with the arms, all that stuff. Got to the legs going down, you slamming. If you were just even down, weren't good enough. No, you're not getting a stretch. Whip it down. If you didn't do it, right, we're doing another 20. Let's go. Bam, bam. 3 people aren't doing it, we're doing another 20. Let's go. Like treacherous.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. What did you say? What did you say? You said, what was the word you used? I don't know whether you used hell or you saying at the beginning before the treacherous thing. You used something and you just said, yeah, the training was hell or something like that. And it's just, I was laughing when you said it because I mean, now you're explaining to me this is. I'll be well nervous of this. I know you're all fit. I know you're all in shape or whatever, but.
Yeah.
He's asked you to snap the stretches because he wants you to go beyond each time, not too much. Beyond. Mate, that's got. I mean, yeah. So people were starting to get nervous. Any physios at the end of the day? Any advice on stretching before sleeping? You know,
no.
any you've got any
Not like that, man. Like
times here? Are we back at Shaolin Temple? What's happening?
Shaolin times, mate. There weren't no like physio on board. Like I'm sure there were people, but it never got to that point because everybody's will. It was literally just like, let's just do this. We're all screaming out in pain. But as we're all doing it, we're all cheering each other on. Come on, guys, we can do it. Keep going, keep going. And then sometimes, where you're just like, oh, your body's just killing you, and you're going, and then one person's there going, "Come on, people, carry on, carry on." I was just like, "Shut the fuck up! What are you doing?" He did it because he needed it.
But also, he's doing it for himself, but he's also thinking, if you don't carry on, we're gonna have to do another 20.
Yeah, so the whole, like I said, we were all on the same side, so we were all raising each other up.
Yes,
and the thing that I didn't get to tell you was the advice that they gave us when all this was happening. So, and this is what helped me out through the whole thing, the whole camp, and it's going to help me out throughout my entire life, I know. So, and that was when the body starts to fall, your spirit rises, right? And that is why, like I said, it all became like spiritual. It went beyond the physical, because it was literally your body was the time when you're in that horse stance rages and your body is just shaking and you feel your horse stance crumble, your body's lowering. You just delve into your spirit. It's like, no, my spirit's rising, my spirit's rising, my spirit's rising, and then from there you just ease up out of the stance and you just keep repeating that mantra to yourself, and then before you knew, you were going, you done an extra minute, you done an extra 2 minutes. And it was like literally that is so powerful, So with anything I do, I mean, I always say demand more of yourself, but yeah, whenever my body starts to shiver or fall now, the spirit rises,
You need a lot of faith in that, and we always say, don't we, that faith and spirit, and there's some things that you just can't see, but it doesn't mean it's not there, right? Just because we can't see it, it doesn't mean it's not visible. It just means that we can't visibly see it. But you're saying you have to have trust and faith in that, and that the spirit will work for you when necessary.
Yeah, your inner spirit just rises up, and it takes, and it does. And again, that helped us go beyond our limits. It really did. Whatever we thought our limits were, that really helped us go beyond it. But so that was like a little bit of a fast forward on the whole injury pushing our level front. So if we rewind back, so we then learned.
By the way, I'm going to have to pick up at some point. Look, it's just because of a memory thing. Look, and I don't take notes, right? You said the word over breakfast. we need to discuss at some point. Look, carry on. I don't want you to lose your train of thought, but I need to know what you have for breakfast there. Let's go. Come on, carry on. No,
well, it was like I could tell you real quick. It was just like buffet style. Like you could have like whatever you wanted. There was like Western food. There was loads of fruit there and stuff. There was also loads of little dim sum dishes, Chinese dishes. The thing I had every morning was da lu mian. So that is kind of like noodles with like this kind of like eggs and vegetables mixed on top. It was incredible. Absolutely loved it. Had that every morning for breakfast. So nice. Then there was like little yogurt pots that you just drink out of with a straw in and stuff. That was real good as well for pick me up to the start of the day. So that was kind of like what my breakfast was. But yeah, it's like a continental breakfast basically. You could have like loads of different things. But there was, like I said, loads of dim sum, loads of like bao buns and things like that you could have as well. So there's lots of stuff.
Okay, but what time is breakfast? Is it the same time every day? And how soon after breakfast does hellish training start?
So we would have breakfast. I think you could have breakfast from about 6 a.m. But I think most people was there for breakfast for about 7:30. Some of us even 8. Like sometimes I was there for 8. And then we'd all meet in the lobby at 8:45 to walk over to Chan's house, and then we'd start our day.
And then start doing mad stuff straight away.
Yeah. That was it.
Roughly an hour for the food to digest.
Yeah, it just depends when you finish breakfast. A lot of people finish breakfast around about between 8:30 and 8:45. So we'd have 15 minutes to walk, and then after we walk there, so about 15 minutes to walk there, and then you have a little bit of time to limber yourself up a little bit, and then bang, you start by no later than like 9:15. We'd be starting the whole group session.
And everyone's breakfast stayed down.
Yeah. So I was out of that. Yeah.
I'm amazed. We have this bloke in a boxercise class, and he throws up out the window. He's done it a few times. We ain't doing Chan stuff in there, Don't get me wrong. It is hard work and everything, but that's why I'm thinking no one's even thrown up. This is amazing, especially with the stuff they're doing, right? Down, up, and
yeah. It's hardcore, like hardcore. You have to drop and do like the front splits with your arms out. You weren't allowed to put your hands on the floor, and so if you couldn't do the front splits, you have to find that balance point, and then that would just gravity would just push you down even lower and stuff. Yeah, it was just wild. And learning the stances, and so there's one stance, resting stance, which is we'd probably know it's like cross stance, like if you're thinking like fierce hyena and stuff like that. But think of a really low version of that.
Is it a unicorn step?
Yeah. But a really low version of that cross stance.
In front of the other, then
one left, then right. Yeah, from unicorn step in fierce hyena. Yeah, but but you cross stance, but crouch down low. Yeah, so much that you're resting on your back leg. That's why that's what it's called, resting stance.
Shins parallel to the floor, maybe.
Yeah. Shins parallel to the floor. Knees aren't allowed to touch the floor though. So with that one,
that was called a resting stance.
Yeah, resting stance, because you can take a rest on your back leg. Now, when we were learning this, we weren't resting.
No.
We were trying to find that spot, man. Like we weren't resting at all. Like, geez, like it was that one was hellish. When we were because the problem was with that one, it wasn't a case of just get into the stance. The problem was get into the stance, spin into the stance, bam, down, back up, spin, shoot, back down, back up, spin, shoot, and you had to do it that fast, right?
Where's
you had to do it that fast.
Where's the resting section? Where's the rest?
Okay,
you didn't get on your back there because you back up and spin back round and back down. Where's the rest?
Right,
give over.
Yeah. But that was what we were supposed to be doing. Now, the vast majority of us couldn't go at that speed. Just physically couldn't do it because we hadn't. Right. So speed we must have been going at must have been Okay, go down. Oh, right. I think I'm in the position. Right. Okay, get up. Ah, spin. Down. Oh shit, my balance all wobbling. Ah. So like at the beginning of all old school kung fu training montages, when everybody's just crap, and then that's it. That's where we were. Day one, day two, like most of it. That's where we were. That's where we were, man.
Everyone's just crap. Brilliant. Yeah.
But,
At least it wasn't just you, though, right? You could look around and
no,
go, all right, this ain't just me. Everyone's struggling with this. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, obviously, some of the wushu heads and the more flexible people, they were more used to it and they were fine with it. But for the majority of us, we were just like, "Wouch, ouch,
Yeah.
okay." And it was really tricky. And for some people, it was hard for them to rotate their bodies around. Some people had knee issues that couldn't get down as far as they wanted to. The balance was off for some of us. So it was just really tricky. And then what ended up happening was, actually now I'm back, I can do it fast. Like now, now they're like boom, because they said to us, because they saw how garbage we was at it, and they was just like, I hope one day you can all do it this fast, and they was going boom, boom, boom. And now it's like, I was actually just doing it just the other day. I was like, boom. I was like, oh yeah, okay. I've got it. So it's almost like my body's had time to soak in all that energy and like, and everything that we've learned. And now, we can do it. Like
it's in there now. Yeah,
yeah.
It's in there.
It's almost like when again in those old school kung fu films, when you're like, I'm really rubbish. I don't understand why we're doing this. And then all of a sudden we go and do it, and it's like some secret kung fu that we're like, oh shit, I can make that bell ring all of a sudden.
Yeah. And all I've been doing is stirring rice every day, and I can do this. It's like,
now you got a pole for them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I told you that's all you had to do. Yeah. Why? Why am I doing this every day? When I'm supposed to be learning kung, ain't I supposed to be learning kung fu? What's this crap?
Yeah.
But it worked. It came out.
Honestly, yeah, because there's just a certain point where everything just clicks. It's wild. I can't explain it. Everything just clicks. But and everything's clicked a lot more now with left as well, which is really like interesting. But I think it's just our bodies are now used to that, and like a lot of us, we still carry that training on. So I think it's like we've really like leveled up. But anyway, so let me go back. So we had so after the warm up, which lasted hours. Every day I felt like the warm up lasted like 2 hours. It was like around that mark, man. It was just forever. So then after that, we got split up. If I recall correctly, my days might be a bit muddled up because it's a bit of a while ago now. But from what I remember, so our families split up. So there was 6 families. 3 families would stay and learn the rest of the Drunken Master choreography, and then 3 families would go into like the cinema room, because obviously Jack's got his own cinema room with like comfy chairs, leather chairs, and all that kind of stuff, real plush get up. And we would have lectures, basically. So they bring in, industry professionals and legends, absolute legends, to give us lectures. First guy we had was a dude called Perry Ho. So Perry, he had he'd worked on some of the camera work and cinematography for films such as Once Upon a Time in China, and I think Crime Story, Thunderbolt, I think he did as well. And also he's done some camera work for The Meg 2 in terms of more recent like Hollywood style film.
Right.
So Perry Ho, he was giving us kind of like insights on cinematography and how to shoot action and how to shoot it well. And like he was giving us a breakdown from like different shooting techniques right through to different equipment to use. And it was quite funny because he was there saying like, even with a lot of fight scenes these days, it's like a lot of us use action camera, just use GoPro. Right? GoPro.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, because it's like the audience, they don't care about what quality camera you use. They just care about what the shot looks like and what the storytelling is. So they don't care if it's like, you're using the most expensive lens in order to get that shot. It's just, does the shot look good or does it not look good? Does the action look good or does it not look good? And that's it. It's like we're not watching a film like, oh yeah, I can really tell what this like 35mm lens is doing it. we're not like that, are we? We're just like, oh no, this fucking wicked action. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, true. I mean, obviously, as not obviously he's saying the qual is to a decent standard. It's still good qual, and it matches the rest of the film. Or I guess they take care of that afterwards with processing and whatever. So okay, well, it's a good point. Yeah,
you don't need to worry about
right
like
tool for the job.
100,000 pound cameras and stuff like that, and and so that kind of like opened our eyes, a lot. Like, he was saying, there's a lot of like, professional cinematographers that will have like all the lenses, but quite a few of them, and quite a few of the top ones, they'll only just use like three lenses, and that's it. And I can relate to that as well, to a certain extent, with obviously like the skydiving fight scene that I choreographed.
Right.
That was just done on a GoPro, and that's actually just won an award. You know what I mean? So,
right, there you go.
Yeah. So it is possible. Also,
it looked good. The quality was wicked. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
But it was the right tool for the job.
Exactly that. And he's saying with GoPros, obviously you can put them in certain positions where other cameras can't get to, and you can do certain things. For example, put on somebody's fist if they're throwing a punch or whatever, and things like that. So he was saying that you can get away with using whatever kind of camera really to just make sure you got the shot, and the storytelling is of a good quality. That's what matters the most. So that was kind of like really eye-opening and really refreshing to hear, because obviously that, I think for some of us, that kind of gave us the green light for certain things, in terms of, oh right, well, we don't have to wait until we've got X amount of money to hire all this big expensive equipment. We can, it's good enough to just shoot on some of the stuff that we already have, maybe. So that was,
well, you might have had the impression before that we're making do, so we're not ready to do this yet. And this guy's going, they ain't making do, we use it in massive productions,
Yeah. If there's a certain, scene that calls for it, we'll put on the GoPro. If we need to use expensive cameras, we use that, or a certain lens. That's it. But we're not always just using that top quality thing that everybody thinks we'll be using. So that was really, really interesting to hear.
Definitely,
Perry, he was just dropping like just bombs of knowledge on us, and that was great. And then, so once we finished that lecture with Perry, we then switched. So then we got to learn Drunken Master choreography, and the other three families got to work with Perry. Got to have the lecture with Perry. So learning the Drunken Master choreography. So within this context, we had to learn the choreography, but then we also had to, from what I remember correctly, we learned the choreography, and then we had kind of like over lunch and a little bit after lunch, I remember, to scout out a location to shoot it, because we were going to recreate Drunken Master, the fights, and we were going to recreate it. So we had to pick where we're going to shoot, the location to shoot, but also we had to choose who was going to do Drunken Master. So, for example, because within our each family, it wasn't a case of we were given assigned camera operators. Our families had to do everything. So we had to be the camera operator, we had to be the editor, we had to be the choreographer, we had to be the performers. We had to do it all basically. So we were looking for space, and then so I was like, okay, because there was a big courtyard area. So I was like, okay, in terms of Drunken Master, this looks most like the space does in Drunken Master. There's a bit of trees in the background and stuff, and then there's like open, light brown. It wasn't sand, but it's basically concrete dry, but it has similar color to what it does in Drunken Master. I was like, this is the backdrop I want, because it looks most like Drunken Master. Other things I was picking up on is like there were certain moments they were teaching us in the choreography that actually Jackie did it different in the film. So there was a bit of a discrepancy there to kind of like how we was taught, because we were taught move for move, but not quite exactly move for move. And then so there was a couple of discrepancies there with that, and so obviously we brought it up with like Herjin, and he was like, "No, you've got." I was like, "So what are we doing? Are we doing it exactly like how the team, your team's teaching us, or are we doing it exactly how the film is? Because there's slight differences in certain movies. It's like, you know what I mean? There's nuances and stuff. And I know that movie and that scene inside out. So I'm just like, what is it? What do you want from me? Because obviously I want to do good on the task. So if you tell me to do with your way, I'll do it your way. But if I got to do it like the film, then I can't be doing it exactly how y'all's taught me. And her gym was just like, you got to do it like the film. I was like, right, that's all I need to know. Good.
That's right. So, that's it. Yeah, because what you're being taught is slightly different to the material you've got as reference to go off. Good question. I wonder if that was done intentionally or not. Who knows, right? It's just got the Chan's. He's got his own flair in there. I don't know, but it's pretty interesting. The little intricacies, the difference. But you just mimic the film in the end. Yeah.
So then what happened was, so we had to choose kind of like who was going to do what in terms of the roles and things. And so it was decided that Kevin, who's like one of my family members, he was going to play Jackie. He was going to play Freddie, and I was going to play Thunderfoot. And then we had David, who was on the camera. David was wicked on camera. He was just like, "Yeah, man, it's just a few shots. Yeah, these are the shots that we need. It's simple. Got it." You know, he was really good at understanding the cinematography of things. So you know, David was real chill with that. And then you had Ryuske, who basically did like so. So Kevin was like a stunt performer, who's based out in New Mexico. And then you have David Chang, who's also a stunt performer. He's from London, but he now lives in LA. So he's also a stunt performer. Then you have Jackie Gor, who is he kind of like he teaches kind of like a lot of people kind of like action in Canada. And then you have Ryuske, or Ryo Jackie as he's known. He is from Japan and does a lot of parkour, does a lot of free running. So that was kind of like my family. In terms of
do these people, these fellas, Kevin, David, and Jackie Gore, and all that, are these blokes familiar with Freddie Wong and Thunderfoot? I mean, is it Harry? you're the Daigore, so I'm guessing. I mean, how are you? What are you? Because I don't know what they. Maybe the London guy grew up watching it, but I mean, are you referring to him as Freddie Wong and Thunderfoot? Have they got other names for him?
So obviously, like Ryusuke, he's from Japan, so he would have watched it in the Japanese language. And then you had Jackie. He's from China. He lives in Canada, but he's from China, so he would have watched it in original Chinese language. David, I'm not sure what he would have watched, what language he would have watched, and he could have watched it in either. To be honest with David, I'm not sure with David. Kevin, again, I'm not sure which version Kevin watched as well, to be honest. But Kevin loved Drunken Master, is one of his favorite Jackie films of all time as well. So, you know, I could tell he had like a lot of passion for, you know, this. And I really wanted to be Jackie, but I was just like, nah, man, let my boy shine here, you know, because as well, like, we didn't know how many tasks we were going to get over this period of time to let each other shine. I just knew that at some point I was going to get the opportunity to show my breaking style, my breaking and kung fu style. So I was like, so long as I can get the opportunity at some point, that's fine. The other, you know, everybody else in the family, they've got loads of opportunities to shine, I'm hoping, you know. So for me, I was like, okay, well, let's make Kevin the hero of this one. And things. So
I mean, it depends who you think the hero is. I mean, we're talking about Chan here, but Thunderfoot, he's playing the villain. But, you know, it's not like it's not like you gave yourself a bad part there, is it? I mean, a baddie, but you know. Too much service playing Thunderfoot, is it?
Yeah, bro. Right. I love playing Thunderfoot. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just gutted. I didn't get to you know, say crawl for my legs and clean up some toilets. You know, I would have loved like saying, or even, well, if it's shit faces, come to bury his father. You know, but we didn't get that stuff. So basically, so we had me playing Thunderfoot, Kevin playing Freddy, David on camera, and then Ryuske and Jackie, they were on continuity. So I think we only had about an hour to shoot it, and that was it. So
Okay.
it wasn't long, and we really had to try and get all the movements in, at the right time. 'Cause it wasn't just the timing, it wasn't just the shapes, it was also the timing that was really important with it. And
Sure.
obviously, in that Drunken Master scene that we had to recreate, Freddy spits water at Thunderfoot in his face, right?
All right.
So
Okay. Before we go on, you kindly sent me the clip so that people know what we're talking about. If you don't mind, we'll put the clip on. We'll watch it so we know people know what we're talking about. It will remind me of it because it's not like I've watched it loads, and then we can discuss the intricacies of it afterwards. Yeah.
Sure.
屁股酒也放了，来一口。
Rolling. 3, 2, 1, action. And cut. Rolling. So, rolling. 3, 2, 1, action.
There you go. That's what we're chatting about. And yeah, we can see the water spits which you're about to talk about. Was it your idea to put those end credits, outtakey bits on there?
No, I can't remember who it was in the family, but like it was just all like a mutual decision. I can't remember who sparked up first. Maybe David, I think maybe David. But
It wasn't part of the brief to have an end credits and an
no, it wasn't even part of the brief to have the authentic Drunken Master at the end there. We just decided to rip that and put that there as well because we wanted to really have that, Drunken Master feel. And obviously, another trademark from Jackie is always having like outtakes at the end. So that's why we wanted to really have that kind of like that vibe and that feel. So yeah, obviously having to do that water shot, we couldn't get it in just one. We had to keep going because we had to have the spit, and then we had to have the next part choreography. And I didn't realize what I was getting myself into until I was doing it. You know what I mean? The amount of time
Thunderfoot weren't the best role to do. Yeah,
Thunderfoot. Like I should got someone else to be Thunderfoot. Literally, just getting water spat in my face, like after take after take after take. And if you see on the end one in slow motion, my mouth's open, so I'm like, ah! I'm like, oh my god!
That's the realization. It's like, damn.
Yeah, exactly, like no. So it was a wild time doing that and just having to do it again and again and again. And you see, like, I think on the first one I go shit again because I already knew the choreography had messed up, and it's like, okay, we've got to do it again. Yeah. And again, it was another shining example when you just get to that point where, okay, well, I've got to make friends with now all this backwash just coming in my face again and again and again. Whereas before it's like I got to make friends with pain again and again. Now it's like, okay, I've got to get this. My brother's spitting in my face. Oh, it's just like, yeah, okay, great.
Yeah, definitely a bad one. But I suppose once it's in and it's done, you're like, oh, that's it now. We got to go through with it. That's it, right?
Yeah, well, exactly that. And like I said, we only had an hour to shoot it and match it shot for shot. So
an hour? Was that a strict time limit?
Strict deadline, an hour, and that was it.
Everything, not editing and everything.
No, not the editing, just getting the shot part. Yeah, just getting the shooting part. And yeah, it's tricky. I mean, like I say, with a lot of people, they'll tell you that it can take 8 hours to shoot a fight scene. And that is just like a fight scene that lasts a few minutes. So imagine how long we really would have needed to get that perfected. I say we get that perfected. I mean, I felt we did like a great job. If you look at the timing of the screenshots matching, we pretty much matched it, like, you know, pound for pound in terms of like movement, angles, and the timing of the fight choreo, especially.
It's a great job, mate. Really,
yeah,
really impressive. Yeah.
yeah. So super proud of stuff for that. So, like I said, so that was the end of day one, and then we had to go back and edit. We had till midnight to edit it together, basically. So as soon as you finish the training camp, which is about between 6 and half 6, sometimes it pushed to 7, but basically you get home, you get back to the hotel, and you just have to be on editing. So we was always like, right, VIP suite, let's go, let's meet up there. And then we would just commandeer that place, and then we were just on editing mode. And then if you didn't get it in by midnight, it wasn't submitted and for evaluation. So it was like strict deadlines, and yeah, we would work into the wire. Like every time, it just felt like we was working to the wire, man.
Always, isn't it? Yeah, no matter what, it's always going to be the proper skin sights. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, so that
was that bit. Just roughly, how many hours was that for the, you know, editing?
Right.
And whatever?
So if we got back at 6, and then we'd have probably had some food.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
I say that, but we would have even probably been eating while we were editing. So by the time we walked back, and so we'd walk back, probably freshen up, so it loses an hour. So say we had from 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, about 5 hours roughly to edit. And you know, within all that, you not only had to, you know, get the shots to match, see which ones worked, which ones didn't. You also had to do the sound effects as well, sound design and everything.
You know, this is the questions that I've got coming. So, are you telling me you had access to like a sound effects library?
We had to find our own. Yeah. But basically, what was fortunate was that a lot of us already came with our own sound effects, you know. So we were just sharing each other's sound effects libraries, and even between families, we were doing that as well. Like if someone had like a sound effects library, like, oh bro, can I borrow that? Like, yeah, take it. And yeah, so again, like I said, even though we were different families, we all had to do our own specific tasks. And I guess there was a bit of healthy competition, but we were still helping each other out. Oh, yeah, you need that? Okay, brother, yeah, take it. Or I can help you out with that. That's fine. So that was kind of like what was going on in terms of, yeah, we were just sharing each other's stuff. But I was just like, yo, let's just rip it from Drunken Master. Let's just get the actual sound score from Drunken Master, same timing, same everything, and just time our stuff to it. So that's what we did.
Yeah, that obviously makes sense. So that means that you didn't have to get the stomach sound, the face sound, the block sound, because hopefully your timing's right enough. You could just lay it over. Yeah.
So that was that was pretty much what kind of like happened with that. The second task was a different kind of fish. But, so that was first task. And then what happened was, so then we'd all have. So that was day 2. Day 3, we'd all have warm up again. Like I said,
you think we finished on this Drunken Master thing, do you?
We finished on. Sorry, this is the first task of Drunken Master. There's a second task of Drunken Master that comes. But if you got anything to talk about on this first task, then we can talk about that.
Right. I mean, of course. Right. There's loads going on here. You're all aching. You've had to do a double boot. I mean, I think that tell me what you think because you would have all chatted about it. What do you think was the most difficult part of that? I always found when I watched that particular part of that film, I was always impressed by, you know, the 2 kicks that Jackie does to the belly with it drunken. He's doing a throat lock move. But I always thought that not every human could make that look like that. And this guy, Kevin, you said his name, yeah, he did a brilliant job of that, because I always thought those 2, even though they're just belly kicks, I always thought, nah, look at the board, the way he's doing it, the snap on him, bomb, you know, there's a little bit of motion in the arms and all that. What part do you think was the most difficult to do in that sequence?
It was that for Kevin. That was the most difficult part, from what I remember. It was either that or the rhythm and the hits that come off. But I'm sure it was the kicks, because I remember
all of that sequence. Yeah, the bomb, boom.
Yeah, because I remember David was just because David is like he's got a real eye for things, a real eye for perfection. David's a diva. He's wicked. I love David. He's a diva. His standards is up here, which is great, which is what we need. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was just always like, nah, man, that kick's not right. Do it again. Now we've got to do it again. And then I'll come back and watch. Like, yeah, we got to do it again. And like, no, have your back straight when you're kicking. You're bending over too much, aren't you? And you got to extend more. And like, so then, you know, he'd be saying one thing, and I'd be trying to like get Kevin to articulate his body through telling, okay, we'll push through your chest more and raise up more in order to get that back straight.
Yeah.
But yeah, because there was certain parts that were just trickier to nail. But yeah, I think that was the hardest part. Obviously, the hardest part for me was getting water spat in my face the whole time.
Of course, yeah. But you know, you can tell when Chan's doing that move that it's through the whole bod, you know, from floor to kick. Everything's doing something. It's only a small scene, but it just goes to show how much effort they put into this. Now, I know you know this. I know you know this because you watch these films and you admire them and they're inspiring for you. And you make films as well. So you do know how difficult these things are to do and to recreate, replicate, or whatever. Was this even more? Did you get even more of a deeper understanding of how talented these guys back then? We're talking about 1978 here, this particular clip. I mean, without knowing any deep things about it and just literally watching it with kids' eyes or whatever, and then as man's eyes, because obviously I haven't stopped watching that film. You know, I'm astonished by it. I'm amazed by it. I don't know how they do it. I mean, has it made even more apparent?
Yeah, totally.
Even though you managed to replicate it, right? Because you could look at it and go, well, no, he's done a brilliant job. And you did a wicked job. It's great. Yeah,
thank you. And like, in terms of just dissecting, so even like, so for example, so Kevin, we were all picking up on different details, like different finer like details and things. And like, so like Kevin, like the detail that he picked up on was like, I think it was when he was doing the double kick. Like I say, it's a bit of a while ago now since I come back, but I'm sure the detail that Ken was picking up is when he does the double kick. Actually, I think the first one from Thunderfoot, like while he's doing that double kick, there's a punch that Thunderfoot's trying to deliver, and I think that kind of like gets almost like blocked. And then this is actually the second one that's a hit. But if you watch it at speed, it looks like it's a double hit with the arm and the leg on both times. So like I say, each person had their eyes on different details, and that was like Kevin's detail that he picked up on that moment as well. So again, there's all these things that are almost like, well, they're like hidden gems that we're like trying to kind of like understand. And I got the guys to watch Jackie's training montage before when he's learning 8 trump cards. So I was like, this is the context of what these movements are put into. So this was him training for it and stuff like that. So we can see the moves crisp and clear. This is the context for it. And now this is how they were applied. So we really had to study the training montage and then go back and really study the movement within context and see what the similarities were and what the differences were between how they were applied and how they were practiced and things, just to get that deeper understanding and embodiment of the character.
Yeah, well, that was one of the questions I was going to ask. You know, how'd you go about starting to do this? I mean, what a brilliant idea. This is so weird, right? Because people just go, oh, it's just a film and this. That. No. Look what you've just said. You've actually pulled out the training sequence from that film, which he trained. You said it, Nathan, right? You're fully in this, right? Because you just said that you looked at the training sequence that he was training for that last fight. It's a movie, but you don't think of it like that. You know, he was training in that sequence with Sam Seed and doing the 8 Drunk Gods. He was training for that last fight. That was him performing. As a matter of fact, that's actually a brilliant example of a film doing that, because he really does pull out each god. You know, he says each one, and he is performing them. But that's how good it is. See, I've never, even though I knew that, because I've never had to think about it in this context, I've never gone, oh yeah, even though I knew he was training for that, he actually was. As in, we know he is in a story in a film, but no, he actually was. Those moves he did in that training sequence, he does them at the end of the fight, practices them, trains them, and does them in the end fight.
That's right.
Yeah, mate. Exactly. Brilliant. I love it. See?
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
it's just a full. You're really raking. You know, you're really getting, as my mum would say, you're getting to the crux of it. You know, right in there, and it's
Mm.
absolutely brilliant. And also, you mentioned that David's looking on the outside, so you guys are doing. You can't see what it looks like, right? You can't see yourself. You can see what Kevin's doing, and he can see what you're doing, but you can't see it as a whole. So you need this person on the outside to pick these things out. And it's brilliant, isn't it, that he didn't go, oh, that'll do. That'll do. We've only got an hour. That'll do.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the thing, because we only had an hour, like I couldn't keep running back and checking every single take that we took, because I was in it and we only had an
Yeah.
hour. So I was like, that would eat up too much time. So again, that was a real test in having to trust my brothers, like, to be like, okay, we haven't got this, or we have got this, okay, move on. So yeah, that was, again, like I say, within this whole context, we were forging our relationship, especially in this first class. We were really kind of like forging our relationship,
like the team building exercise on each other. Yeah.
And then even with the editing
Once
rooms,
that was done, you got to go back to the VIP room.
Yeah.
And if David ain't got it, David ain't got it. There's no going back. That's it. Yeah, but he knew that. He knew that, and that's why he's like, no, this is. I love it. This is my bit. This is my bit. So I'm going to get this right. Yeah, I'm not physically doing it, but this is my bit. So I can see something. No, you got to get it right. For all of us, you got to get it right. Yeah. I mean, fantastic.
Totally. So yeah, like I say, so we're all working towards the same goal, which is beautiful. And like, in terms of the editing, it was mainly Kevin and David that were doing the editing. So they'd take up a different section of the film and then they just do the edit, or David may do the main edit and Kevin may do the color grading on it and things like that. Or may do the sound effects.
You've got some software and stuff to work with here, computer and software.
So the reason I wasn't editing at that time was
didn't give you no sound effects, but you can have a computer so you can do the editing. Nice one.
Yeah,
Thanks,
no, we had to bring our own computers to do it. If we had a laptop, we were doing on that. Like I would have just been doing all that shit on my phone. But because those guys had their laptops, they were doing the editing, and they were working in a different software than what I worked with. So I was just like, okay, we need to do the edit. So I was just there overseeing everything, being like, oh no, guys, this is not quite exactly how it is. We need to trim a split second off here, or we need to extend that, or actually we need to replace that shot with this shot and things. And then we had Ryuske and Jackie, who was there on continuity as well, having a fine eye looking and stuff like that. Jackie, he is like our younger brother. He's the youngest of us all, but he's like a mother hen, like literally taking care of us, getting us food the whole time and things like that. Just always like hooking us up and things. He had a massage gun, so our mashed up bodies were getting sorted out with massage guns and things. So yeah, again, like I say, we were just really the editing time was the time when we bonded the most. We bonded all throughout the day, but there were some times we weren't working together as families. But for the majority of the time, we were working together as families during training. But obviously, when you're doing the treacherous warm up, you're not. It's just you pushing yourself. But when we're doing the tasks, we're with our families a lot of the time. But when we got back at night time, when everybody's tired, our energy levels are either waning or we're wired because we need to get this done, the pressure's on. Again, that's when we really come together as a family. We were bonding, busting jokes left, right, and center. So
you've all lived through it. You all lived through it, living through it, and experiencing it together. So you're all aching, you're all in pain. You all had the same thing. But I'm looking at this and I'm going. Now I'm realizing how impressive that clip is, because I honestly thought you would get given a lot more assistance. So they taught you some of the moves, taught you scene by scene. This is how you do it. Even that, you had to go, but hang on a minute, it's a little bit different. So film or what you just showed us? No, film. Okay, no worries. You've got that. I thought, well, you'll have access to that. Yeah, that's right. I did have access to it on my phone. Oh, you had access to it on your phone. I thought you just have access to it. I thought you would have been able to have one of those wheels where you'd be going.
No,
this is what I thought when I saw the result. I was like, okay, they've got all that business going. Not that I would have known how to use one of those. You know the things, right?
I know the one you mean. Yep.
Yeah, that thing. But I thought that's what you'd have. I said to you, right? Obviously, you had access to the sound library. No, we had sounds, but they were ours that we bring. Okay, well, you had editing software and a computer. Yeah, Okay, well, at least they supplied you that. No, that was our computers, our software. And
Yeah.
it just goes to show you how little assistance you got. Then add to that 1 hour to shoot, and that is it. Submit by midnight, or it don't go through. You know, these constraints. I mean, and the result you've got from having all of these restrictions and constraints and time limits and lack of equipment and unbelievable. How did you? I gotta ask, Nathan, how when you knew you had an hour, for someone like me, I'm not very good time management person. So kind of my brain would have gone, it's over. I'm glad there's other people here. I will definitely add to this process. I'll help make it happen. But the 1 hour thing, no, I ain't doing it. How did you manage it to say to yourself, how am I gonna? You need time to figure out how you're gonna get it done in an hour. So what did you do? Did you sort of storyboard it out? And if you take too long on these things, I know you have some experience in filmmaking. That's surely invaluable here.
Mhm.
I I know I'd have been totally in the deep end, right? I don't make films, but I honestly would have gone, right, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to not draw it because I'm not real at drawing, but basically do a kind of mini storyboard for shot and then try and recreate it. And it'd be, well, that's the hour done. You know what I mean? How did you make sure it was an hour?
So basically, because of like we like all of us have got experience in shooting films before, but obviously because I was the guy to like take charge. So I know what I'm capable of in terms of being efficient with my time and getting stuff done. So in my mind's eye, I was like, okay, we can spend X amount of time on this, X amount of time on that, X amount of time on that. And then when I spoke to David, I was like, okay, how many shots have we got to do? And he's like, okay, we've got to do X amount of shots.
Right.
And then David would like kind of like divide that time up as well and be like, yeah, okay, realistically, we can spend this amount of time on this and this amount of time on this. And I was like, okay, cool. So we had that as a template. I also knew in my mind kind of like how quickly I can work to get those shots and what we need to do to get those shots efficiently. So, you know, it may just be like, okay, you know what, that angle's slightly off. We need to, all right, Kevin, what we can do is we can turn our angle to match that a little bit. Or Ryuske and Jackie may be like, oh, actually, do you know what? We need to, you guys need to come this way a little bit because the continuity is slightly off from the last shot. So we were all playing our part to make sure we got stuff done, you know, as quickly and efficiently as possible, really. So yeah, like I said, I'm so grateful for the team I have. Really, really, I'm grateful for them.
Right. So yeah, a lot of it was down to some experience that you've had, previous experience of.
Yeah, and this is the thing as well. Like on day one, right? Well, to be honest, they didn't teach us the fundamentals of fight choreography until the final day. So if
Right.
anybody had come there and hadn't really done fight choreography before, they would have had to have their family to teach them, and people in their family would know it. But I kind of thought that would be like part of our foundation that we would get. But I think for them, I think it was just assumed that we all would have done fight choreography before, so just get on with it. There wasn't kind of a base standard in terms of how things are done or anything. Like I said, that actually came, like I say, on I'm sure it was our final day or our second to last day. I'm sure it was our final day. But like I said, I'll get into that when we get to that. But yeah, it was just a case of we just had to rely on our experience.
Unbelievable. And do you know if anyone didn't hand theirs in before midnight, or does everyone get it in?
Everyone managed to do it. So yeah, everyone was doing that. You know, some were earlier than others. I think maybe one group may have had an issue with the deadline or something. But I think it was something to do with a connection problem or something. So I think they managed to slightly hand theirs slightly later or something. But then
that
next
connection
day,
that the connection problem that no one else had, that one,
yeah. But then, yeah, I mean, right. But then the next day, her gym was like, no excuses. I don't care what happens, no excuses, because you know in the film industry sometimes you've only got 2 hours to shoot, edit, turn something in. There's no excuses because you may need, for example, to convince the producers that okay, do you know what, we need to shoot an extra part of this fight sequence. We need to shoot a new new section of this fight scene, and we need to okay the budget for it. We only got 2 hours to do it, and that's it. So they were literally preparing for the industry in terms of being like,
yeah. This is the sort of thing that happens. So you can't. There's no getting out of it. But the thing is, I'm sure if you're in the industry, you'd have access to the sounds and God knows what. But like, they made that difficult. But that's the test. This is the course, right? You're here to be put under pressure physically. And now mentally as well with this, and obviously physically, because there's still physical stuff going on here. But I mean, the results, they speak for themselves. But I'm still amazed that you managed to do it in that space of time, and it's brilliant that everyone got it handed in. And could you see other people doing it? How far away was you from all the others doing
so
it?
you could. So like I said, everybody got a chance to choose their location, and you could see in the periphery other people doing their fight choreography at the same time. But that was another challenge throughout all the challenges we did, which was try not to get any other groups in the show because obviously that would mess up your continuity and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So that was another challenge in terms of where you'd shoot or how you would shoot. And also one of the other constraints was we weren't allowed to shoot the main building, which obviously is Jackie's home. So we weren't allowed to shoot the main building properly. So we had to figure out a way to not get that in the shot. So that obviously impacted on where we could shoot too. So there was a lot of constraints that we had to work within. But sometimes having those constraints levels you up and makes you grow. So for us, it was definitely good because obviously, like as they were saying, you may only have 2 hours to shoot something and then edit something to, send to the producers to convince them to give you more money, or to the director to put this section in. And so that's why I say you've got an hour to shoot this, go. That was it. So
as you say, when you're hit with these problems, if you do indeed find solutions for them, that's how it enables you to grow, level up, and be able to pass that knowledge on or use it again and go, look, when this happened before, it was all good. Don't worry about it because we know you can do this. But you're not going to come up with those things unless you're forced into that position. So there's a lot to learn from this, for sure. But for me, I mean, like I said, I've got no experience doing this stuff, but that looks like a damn hard task to do. And we're talking about recreating Huang Zhangli and Jackie Chan as well. Just that alone. We're talking about two top of their game, at their peak guys in one of the best films. This is a tall order. I think I'll call it a tall order.
A huge honor and a tall order, that's for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've seen blue t-shirt there. I mean, I don't know why it's taken me so long, but you've got the wicked blue t-shirt on. You was wearing the black one last time, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit showing off that, isn't it? I mean, I like it. Don't get me wrong. I love it, but because I haven't seen the back, could I please see the logo on the back of the blue one?
It's the same as before.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's on blue. What are you on about? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I can see it.
Yeah,
lovely. Cool. Thanks, mate. And no, it's not the same because it's on the blue t-shirt. So, no, you know it ain't the same, but yeah, thanks.
So obviously, like I said, we'd by the end of day 2, our bodies were mashed up. We thought something was going to snap. I already told you all that stuff going into day 3. We talked about that at breakfast. So we went back, and then we got feedback. So again, what would happen is we all did the warm up, that treacherous warm up at first, and then split up into 3 groups. The first 3 would stay, I think, did Tai Chi, and then the second group. The second lot of 3 had to go and get their feedback. So we watched in Jackie's cinema. We watched our film on the big screen, and we got Hejun to give us feedback. And we'd have to go up before our film would start, and we'd have to introduce ourselves as a family, who we are, and kind of like what the energy was, why we chose the location that we did, and stuff, and that was that. So when
was you confident? You know, I mean, I can see what you produced there. It's brilliant, given the time constraints and all the things. Was you guys, when you submitted it at midnight, when you were standing there ready to, before you press play, was you like, we've done good here, boys? I mean, we've done good.
Yeah, I was hella proud. I was hella proud of our family. I was just like, yeah, we killed it here. Obviously, I felt bad because, like I said, we had the two that were on continuity, Ryuske and Jackie. I was like, oh, they didn't get a chance to be in front of the camera, because we spent all our time on that. I mean, some groups they managed to actually get both pairs of people in to do it in front of the camera. We weren't. We were trying to get it shot for shot so much. We didn't manage to do that. So I kind of like, I felt a bit of a waste for that. So I was like, in my mind, I was like, okay, you know, we've given Kevin the opportunity to shine as the hero here. I need to still find a way to make the other two shine. Plus David, who is behind the camera. You know, I've been in the front of the camera, and Kevin has. But I was like, we've got to try and make sure that whatever the next task is, we can make those guys be in front of the camera as well. Like I said, for me, I was really keen to try and get everybody to shine. So I just needed to.
Yeah, all of job roles were obviously massively important. You can't do any of it without all the team.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah, but I know what you're trying to say. Yeah, you want them to be seen, innit? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 100%. So we got our feedback, and the only feedback Hejun gave us was, okay, yeah, you hit the choreography and everything, but there was a big truss in the background, like, and it messed up the picture. Yeah, obviously in the original Drunken Master, there's nothing like that in the background. There's just trees and ground, but it was the picture that was messed up. The truss was really messing up that picture. Why didn't you just why don't you just ask us to move it for you? I was like, what? I didn't even know that was an option. You know, that's what we said. We didn't know that was an option. And I was like, we were like, we can do that. And he's like, yeah, just ask us. You want us to move it? Then, because like sometimes on set, like in, you know, movie for real, it's like, oh yeah, we oh, there's a big tree there. Oh, I wish that tree wasn't there. We come back the next day, tree's gone. You know, so literally, they find ways around it. So again, I was just like, oh, okay, so now we know the parameters in which you can play this game. You're damn right we're going to be asking you to move stuff. But we were like, okay.
It was a great lesson, right? Because maybe he would have gone, no. You know, I suppose the thing there is, did any of you think to ask, right? Even if you had, no, right? But let's just say, even if you had, the likelihood is you would have sort of said between you, might be a bit disrespectful that we ain't here to mash the place up. So let's not ask or whatever, even if you had thought of it. But the fact that this guy said, listen, this is real. This is how it is. Ask. He might have told you, no, I ain't moving it. But I think he probably would have respected the fact that you even thought to ask, because that you're right. I would have thought of that, because you can't be expected to have the perfect location, right? You just did your best with what you had. But he's saying you did. You could have done better though if you moved that.
Yeah, totally. And like that was a great thing about Hejun. Like he gave everybody props when they deserved it, but he was really good at constructive criticism, and we learned like so much. And so the next task was us basically to now carry on the fight scene from Drunken Master, but to do it, you know, with our own creativity, like however we want to do it. It doesn't have to be how the rest of the film is now. We can literally got creative license to do it however we want. So there's two things going through my mind as soon as you said that. First thing is, great, I can now bring my other brothers into this scene, so they get an opportunity to shine. Second thing I'm thinking is, right, Hejun, okay, you say that's you know, that trust is messing up our thing. Well, we're going to make that part of the scene, so there's a reason for that trust to be in that shot. And Kevin was thinking exactly the same thing, and we were just like, yeah, bro, we're on the same page. So that was it. So we were just like, right, we'll see now. We're going to make that part of the scene. So can't say nothing then. And so we had another hour to go and shoot the other section.
Right. Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, for my team, I was director, So I was just like, right, okay, let's do this and get this. Okay, we figured out the choreography. I think we had over lunch to figure out the choreography, and then we had to come back after lunch, had an hour to shoot it. So I was like, right, okay, it's choreography, right, let's do it. Now, it ended up being 20 shots in 1 hour. The guys are like, what the fuck? That's too many shots, man. I was like, yeah, I know, but we need to get these shots. All right, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. We did 20 shots in 1 hour. whether or not it was the best is a different story, but we did 20 shots in 1 hour. And like when everybody else heard how many shots we did, they were like, holy shit. Like most other people were doing like 5 or 6 shots. We did 20 shots an hour, you know. So we we really went nuts with it.
I've got the one with the double boot finish.
Yeah. So the one with the double boot finish then. Okay. If you play that one next, then you should be able to kind of like see what we did with the next one. Yeah.
Yes, brilliant acting, like it. Yeah, brilliant. Love it.
But with that double boot finish, again to get that shot, you know, we had to redo it like loads and loads of times, but absolutely loved it. We proper just went for it. It literally just soaked up 2 boots and my chest was flying backwards and stuff with it and things. Yep. So it's great because originally what was going to happen was Kevin was going to do a wall flip off my chest, but because we had like a pad underneath it, but the pad was it was kind of like plasticky, so when it kind of like hits you, his leg kept slipping, so it was too dangerous for him to do a backflip off my chest with it. Because he was literally going to do that flip off my chest as a kick, and I was going to go flying, but it was just too slippery. So we were like, okay, it's eating up too much time. Let's just change it to double boot, bam. So yeah, he hit that. I just soaking up every time, bam, bam, bam. One time he hit me in my throat. I was like, ooh. It was just like, yeah, just double boot, bam, fly back as much as you can. So we did that, and then we did and I'll come back to something about that in a minute. But then, like I said, so we then got the rest of the team involved, being in front of the camera. So basically, the story carried on, which was, you know, I get not do that dive and roll, and then you have my 2 henchmen, my 2 henchmen come in, which was Jackie and David, and they were going to take on Kevin, and then Ryuske is going to be Kevin's. Was going to be some seed, basically. He was going to be some seed, but some seed his way, you know. So so basically, so we then had Jackie fight Kevin and knock him into the truss, and then he was going to travel along the truss. So that was our reason for the truss to now be in the scene. So we were just like, yeah, okay, we've got you now, Hedgen. You can't say nothing about that now because now it's part of the scene. So now it makes sense. So that was there, and then we did the rest of the section. I wanted to kind of like show off Ryuske doing like, because like I say he does parkour, so I wanted to show off him doing like a flip and a kick and hitting Jackie in the face as he comes to Kevin's rescue. And also as I roll underneath him, he was going to do like a side flip over. He does like a side flip over me, so kind of like really showing off his athletic abilities and stuff. And then there was a time when I was actually doing like a gymnastics, like a breakdance flare, like, and I kicked, I think it was Jackie in the face to finish him off and things. Not Jackie, it was either Ryuske or Kevin. I can't remember, one of the two. Kick one of the 2 in the face with
you just kick someone in the face, right?
You do. Kick them in the face using my breaking, that was it. And then, but I basically
you didn't double boot in the throat, so you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, do you know what I mean? That was it. Revenge had to happen. So basically, that section happened, and we got 20 shots, but again, it wasn't kind of like the best that we could have done. So then, obviously, the edit was the edit, and then we went back to the next day for feedback. Same again, same format. Warm up. One group would do one lot of stuff. One group would have the feedback. So had the feedback. And, you know, said to Hedgen, see, you know, we put the truss in, and, you know, and he was just like, yeah, I saw that. So it was like, that was cool and stuff. But he also, in terms of feedback, he was talking about the kick, the double kick. So when you saw the double kick that we did, obviously the camera was on my facial expressions, and Kevin's back was a bit to us in terms of we couldn't see his facial expressions and stuff. We saw the beauty of we saw the beauty of the form of the kick, and we saw me flying backwards, and that looked dope. But he was like, it don't make sense for the film because you're not the hero, so we shouldn't see your face here. We should be seeing the other person because it's like a more of a hero shot, and also you need to be a bit closer in. If you did it where you started off with a shot where it's more closer in, and then you get kicked out of frame, it looks like there's more power because you leave the frame faster because you're closer to the frame. Yeah. So again, he was giving us these like golden like tips for shooting, like fight choreography and stuff. So we were just like, oh wow, okay. So when you have a closer shot and someone gets hit and leaves the frame quick, it's to showcase, it's to signify, okay, that person's got more power because it's knocking them out of the frame faster, rather than seeing the full movement. And then you can go back to the full body reaction and body movement happening. So that was kind of how he was explaining how that shot works and stuff. So
let's have a look at that shot again then, if that's all right.
Yeah, go for it.
Because now we have a little bit now we've got a little bit of background to your feedback after it. We can see what you're talking about, because now I'll watch it with different eyes now, right? I've seen it, but now I watch it again and I'm going to look at the things you talk about, the fact that Kevin's not the hero here, the fact it should have been tighter so that you've left quicker.
Kevin is the hero. I'm not the hero.
Yeah,
so,
but he didn't look like the hero because you showed your face, not his face. Yeah. So he is the hero, but he wasn't heroed enough. Yeah. So this is really interesting. So let's have a look at it again with those things in mind. I'll just turn the volume down a little bit. Yeah, so we do get some hero, but it's when he's on his back after the boot, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. I guess I see what he's saying. So here he come in, he does the boot, pulls back. Is that where you're saying you could have been at the edge of the frame and kicked out?
So when I first initially get kicked,
you could have been at the edge and kicked out of the frame. Yeah.
If we'd have shot it from the other way around, we just had the camera on Kevin's face more, but my shoulder was in the frame, for example. So I think more like kind of like this, and then where is it? Kevin's face would have been here, so it is in Kevin's face here. So when he kicked me, bam! I'd fly out that shot quicker, and then we then cut to the rest of my body flying out. But we get Kevin's expression, bam, as he's hitting me to show his power and everything.
Yeah,
but
cool.
Do you know what I mean? So that's the kind of like logic behind it. Obviously, it's still a beautiful shot and an incredible shot how it's done here, and it's great for the show reel. But in terms of for the film, it could have been better because of that. Like I say, it's not just about an individual moment, because that showcases my ability to have a great hit reaction and stuff. But it doesn't really showcase the storytelling of well, actually this is the hero's glorious, powerful moment here.
Yeah, exactly. It's just different ways to look at it, because obviously I look at that and I go, great, lovely, wide shot, shows everything. And they're he's not even saying not to use that. He's saying, use that, but then to get the impact, the power. Like you say, just invaluable things to be taught. Yeah,
but it's like, there's different tastes. I mean, some people would still prefer that version to the other version we did, So it's just different tastes, But in terms of storytelling logic, like if you want to get into the nuance of it, that's a more nuanced way to go about it.
Yeah, even if him himself thought your way was better, it's still good for him to go, look, there's another way you could have done this. Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah, totally. And obviously what's great with this is kind of like, we have two versions that we can choose from now in terms of moving forward. If we want to make a film that has that kind of moment in, we can look at the aesthetic and look at the impact and think, okay, what do we want to say with this? And then what's most important at that moment in time? What is it that we want to get across? And then we can choose accordingly. If we just feel like, actually, you know what, we just want the audience to go, holy shit, we can choose that one. Or if we want the audience to be like, oh, okay, we really we're really still dialed in on the storytelling so much. It's really important at this moment that we see the hero's face, then we can dial in on that one. You know, so it basically all Hajin was doing was giving us more tools.
Yeah, I know, I love it. Great, isn't it? It's fantastic. The way he looks at it with, I mean, I know that's his job, if you like, but the way he looks at it with that detail is brilliant.
Yeah, and he's got incredible eye for detail, absolutely incredible eye for detail. So moving on to we had another task, which was, after we done that and he gave us all this feedback, he said to us, okay, so with this feedback in mind, if you had the opportunity to shoot it again, would you want to shoot it again? Everyone was like, yeah, because, well, just so happens you've got another, I think, an hour, maybe an hour and a half to shoot it again. Yeah. So yeah, we did it again. So we changed up so much. So in terms of Ryuske and Jackie's part, we changed up their elements a bit more. So we got in some like details with the triple punches with Ryuske to kind of like show his his power as a master and things like that, with minimal movement but exuding like maximum power and things.
Yeah.
Jackie is really great at nunchucks, so we got him to showcase his nunchuck skills. And then David, he wanted to showcase more than anything. He wanted to showcase his front flip wreck that he does. So he does like someone grabs him, swings his arm, and he does a front flip, lands on his back. He did that on the hard concrete and stuff, and he was like, yeah, I could do that. That's what I want to showcase. So that was kind of like his thing. We did some choreo with it, but again, because of the time constraints, we had to cut some of David's choreo. But the great thing about David was he wasn't precious about anything like that. Like he was just like, yo man, just do what's best for the film. So he really kind of like understood the part that he was playing in all this. And he was like, it's not what's the best for the film, so let's just cut. It's fine, it's cool. As long as I get my wrecking, it's fine. So
not everyone has that trait about them. If you're all scrambling to the top and fighting to be center stage, it doesn't necessarily make for the best product. So yeah, well that's brilliant by him to have that trait. He knows.
Yeah, definitely. And obviously, like, because obviously we were still in the Drunken Master project, it was still mainly all about making sure that Kevin shines, but whilst making sure the other performers also got the opportunity to shine and deliver their skills. With Ryuske stuff, it got again. I think the flip got cut out of it, the flip over me, because we just didn't have enough time to shoot that. So again, I was keen to get Ryuske to showcase his skills on another project that we would have afterwards. I would hope. So then we went and we reshot it, and this is the version that you have. So if you want, you can go and play that.
Oh yes, well I would love to. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm pretty excited because this has got a load of stuff.
屁股脚一放，来一口。
There you go. So that's what we had before, where we just watched it. It's good because it's a different clip. Now we're seeing the full screen clip. It's the same clip, but it's different as in we saw the frame by frame along with the other film. Now that's it on its own, and that's where it ended before, right? So this is all extra stuff now, yeah?
Yeah.
Give me that. Get it! 哎呀，干什么？怎么办呢？
Rolling. 3, 2, 1. Action. Yeah.
Just spot him in case he hits his head on the floor. I won't, I'll be fine. Okay. Ready? Rolling. 3, 2, 1, action!
Yeah. What I'll do is, right, I'll leave this running with no sound for the minute while we chat through it. And by all means, you know, take us through this. This is obviously the first part that we're aware of, that we've seen, and then we move on to the new bits. Look at that. Great. But this has got so this is the one where you're saying 20 shots 1 hour. This is there's a lot here. And again, we've got no access to sound and music, and so all this Drunken Master 2 music, this is just stuff that you've got yourself. You guys have managed to get together yourself.
Yeah. And also, like, what I had to do is I had to find I had to rip sounds from the original Drunken Master in fight, and I had to get the for the edit, I had to identify, okay, which is a body shot, which is a headshot, what's a block. So, and I could obviously tell that just by the sound, you know. So even like, so for example, we ripped the sound file, so just the audio file came like Nathan. So which is a body shot? Like, that's a body shot. Like, or I'm like, that's a headshot and stuff like that. Oh, that's a block. And so I literally be able to tell him, okay, which that he would need to match for which moment for when he did the sound design and things. So
okay, so this one did take more editing when it came to the sound, because you couldn't just overlay a shot for shot fight. This one you needed to
totally.
You need to overlay sounds.
Yeah, totally. So we had to get the timing right to overlay the sounds and also get the right sound effects right. And like there were some times where I'd be like, no, that's the wrong sound effect for that block. Okay, we need to take that out, put this one in. And I was like, because obviously there's pitch and there's tones that are involved, especially with the old school stuff. With a lot of the new school stuff, it's the same pitch and tone for a body shot or a headshot. But for back in the day, it was definitely different pitches that let us know. So it's more like a symphony. So again, I really
know, right? That's what we love. That's what we love about it, the different sounds, you know.
Exactly.
So, a very distinct belly shot and a very distinct face shot, a very distinct slappy block sound, a very distinct wind effects depending on what style the person was doing, you know.
Yeah, totally. So yes, I've got obviously a very keen ear for that. Like, you grew up watching that stuff, so
yeah, man.
Important. So there we had to establish the character of Ryuske being his teacher. So that's why we had the thumbs up. Company looks at him, because otherwise he can't just come out of nowhere. So we had to kind of like establish that shot. We had to do that establishing shot of my two henchmen being there, so that's why I fall into frame and they're there. And then
So, yeah, teacher Sam Seed was saying. You said right?
Yeah. It's pretty much Sam Seed, but his version of Sam Seed. And then there's Thunderfoot with his 2 henchmen now that have just come into the mix.
Yeah.
So, and then he handed me my wine, so I start drinking. Now that's actually our official Jackie Chan Stunt Team water bottle that we were all given and things like that.
Oh, brilliant! Yes, mate.
So yeah, so we got that. So using that, so that was the drink. So this moment is about establishing Jackie's character in terms of showing his nunchuck skills and everything. We've got David in the background looking all grizzly and things.
Yeah, I see.
And then then we move on. Then Kevin versus Jackie happens.
Nice. Look at that.
Yeah, obviously, come back to the teacher. He's just not bothered. Yeah, his technique's not good. He's not even worth me even paying attention. Bang!
This is the piece of metal you're talking about. Like he said, you know, you could have asked us to move it.
Yeah. So we were just like, me and Kevin, like, especially Ken was like, yeah, we're going to use it. So bang, he gets hit into that, and then we were like, okay, well, we've got to really make sure we get him to travel along it. So there's a real reason for us to use the length of what it is, because obviously you could have got hit into anything that was short. So here we wanted to jump out of it and have a bit of a salsa kind of comedy moment and things where he's like shimmying on his back and things, just to be in line with Jackie's style of comedy. And David's coming in with his styles, and then obviously this is a moment from Drunken Master 2. Obviously, but also, because obviously this, hand holding the pot is in Drunken Master 1, but when he does his head properly, that's in Drunken Master 2,
Yeah,
so
that's right.
We were like mixing the two, so this is almost like Drunken Master 4, this film, we could say.
That's it. Look how tall David is. He's having to reach up to do this jar move on him. Yeah. Look at that stunt there. Look at that.
Yeah. So with this wreck right here, so the sound that we actually use for this, we actually, you know what, right? You know the crap dub of Drunken Master that we don't like?
Yeah, I know it.
Served the purpose. It actually served the purpose. And it was that moment. So when David is going, it's actually the moment in Drunken Master with the crap dub where he's going like that, and all the sand is coming up from around him. Yeah. So in the crap dub, he goes, yeah. So we were like, that's perfect for David's reaction to that hit. So
look,
that's
it's great
thing that ever come of that dub.
Yeah, so it's wicked. Now we know, respect to the crap dub, because look at the difference between just the crap, any old crap shout. So I'm just going to put the volume up just for this bit because we've discussed the non-real crap dub shout. So, right, like you say, not in it. But I tell you what, I really like. Great stunt by him. That flip over, brilliant. You can see how safely he's done it, not hurt and everything like that. I mean, that's great. But I also love the way Kevin comes straight out, the timing of him coming out into the flute.
Had it flowed, flat tap.
Wicked, yeah, that's nice. Brilliant. And then he does the drunken tune. Plays it. Yeah, look, he's playing it.
Yeah, that's it. And then Jackie comes rolling in, and then he's still playing it and running across like Miss Ho does and stuff, but with the flute. Yeah. So then obviously he gets knocked back. So then this is where Sam C comes in. Obviously, so I've been drinking, but obviously I'm Thunderfoot. So this is like a drunken Thunderfoot you're getting to see the starting moments of. But this part here, where I'm pouring it out, I'm actually evoking Master Cam from Young Master in here when he pours the water out,
I knew it. I know, I knew it. I was thinking, this is a nod to the Young Master. Yeah, brilliant. Exactly that, mate. Wicked.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So, we show the power with the minimal movement and the maximum force and stuff like that. There was a bit of us going back and forth over what movement we should use for that, because like some wanted like just one big powerful move. But I insisted on having let's have the smaller movement possible to show someone that has like true mastery and things like that, because it's one thing to take someone with a big move, but if you can show you can do a lot of damage with just the small movements, that's a master right there. So I kind of like had to put my foot down a little bit on that one, but I'm glad I did because like it turned out well.
Yeah, no, I agree with your thought process on that, because it's like the old master. He has to do something a little bit out of the ordinary and a little bit to show that he's got extra levels to anyone else, right? Anyone can just do a big, massive smash, but he's got, look at it, look, he's got, look at that, boom, boom. Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah. And then you can do
Mad Monkey Kung Fu, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep, Mad Monkey Kung Fu. Yep. Yeah, and then obviously, then he can do like a big flip. So that's where he's flipping
right.
stuff.
I mean,
yeah.
Didn't see Sam C doing that move. You know what I mean?
Nah. But this is where we like I said, we literally had our creative license. That's why Jackie could use his nunchucks and stuff in it as well. And we could really just make it what we wanted to kind of like showcase our team skills. So that's kind of like where our head was at with this part, really.
It's a good shot change, wasn't it? Where he starts this move and then he changes shot into actually getting a hit in. Doing that. That was nice.
Yeah, because we stacked it up. Now this is actually shadowless hand, but it's drunken shadowless hand.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's staggering around a little bit with it now, rather than
drinking.
One of us does it and he's just cool and calm, but I'm staggering about with it as if like this is what he would look like if he was to do shadowless hand, to be drunk with it.
Drunk version, exactly. Brilliant, mate.
But then because of our still staggering about, but because of our time constraints, we didn't get to do a massive bit of drunken choreography here. So we had to cut this moment out. So we literally just did a real short moment of a spin move and things like that, which you'll see in a second. Boom, pow. Nice, Kevin's hit. And then and then we have to have the masters like kind of reactions. Like, oh my gosh, my student's losing, kind of thing. Yeah,
it's all going wrong. Yeah.
Oh my god, I'll teach you to fart. What you doing, kind of, And then we have like the final.
Teach you to fart. Brilliant. Flathead Freddy. Can't you show me now? I'll teach me now. I'll teach you to fart. Brilliant.
Yeah.
So when he gets up, when Kev gets up here and he has after getting smashed and he has the drink, does he go a little bit lally here after this?
Yeah, good. A little bit.
A little bit more young master sort of oily.
Yeah. So what was gonna happen if we had time? He was actually gonna do like a drunken crumpet sack. So I was gonna take on obviously his the drunken shadowless hand. Then I was gonna be beating him up a little bit with that. And then what was going to happen was he was going to start, because he crumps as a dancer, so he was going to do like drunken crumping, which is a style that I've never seen before. So we were going to like really put that into the mix. But because again we had such limited time, we had to like cut all that stuff out. So you don't get to see much drunken shadowless hand. You don't get to see the drunken crumping. So it's just few movements, kick. He gets to put his back with him, which again really showcases his skills. And then he gets to do the big finishing kick, but obviously we reshot the kick after we had the advice from Halausha like that.
So you did, So this is the same kick move, but reshot with different editing, this is the whole
flying out of this shot.
We've got the hero's face here. You're near the edge of the frame, so it looks like you've been pushed out of it. Yeah. And but you still got the nice idea of having it doubled up so you get a nice wide shot.
Of course, I couldn't lose that, man. You know me. You're like, we're wide, bro.
Poof, poof. Yeah. So you had to take more boot.
Yeah.
Spits in the face, boot. Yeah. All right. Brilliant.
Yeah. Well, we got to take. We got to do it for the family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's great, man. Really, really good. And you get. So, did they give you a time limit on the length of the footage? Because obviously, the frame for frame is the frame for frame. It's only going to be as long as the Drunken Master frame for frame bit that they wanted you to mimic.
There we go.
Yeah, but this one is obviously a lot longer. More, it's quite a lot longer. This is a good.
Yeah, it was the longest shot of everybody's. I think everyone was just like, I can't believe how much you shot.
Of course, this is the whole 20 shot in 1 hour. Yeah, of course, yeah. So you actually did manage to fit a lot in.
Yeah.
It's great. What I'll do is we'll watch it one more time. We'll
小野放，来一口。
or if you want to pause it.
Give me that. Get it!
Nunchucks down the effects there as well. Yeah, nice wind effects there, Nathan. Wind. It's all there as well because he drops down. You get the ground sound. You had some metal nunchucks hitting the metal. It's, you know, considering you had to get all this. This is where he gets the demo. A bit of a stunt here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Skills. That was good as well because he did it and he could have just left it, but then you showed the impact of him landing. Yeah.
哎呀，干什么？怎么办呢？
What about those sound effects? He's got little sounds as well.
Yeah. So one thing we did as well, we actually shot all the ADR as well. So we went up into my hotel room and basically we watched the edit. After we edited it, we watched it in silence, and then David got his phone out. We actually filmed us doing this, but basically we were all doing the ad-libbing. So we were all doing that, recording it over it. So that was actually Ryusuke's voice doing that.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah. So you got some. So there's some stuff that's taken off of films and whatever, sound effects and whatever, but some of the actual chatty little dialogue-y bits there.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff.
Well.
You guys doing. Get to see a little bit of secret backgrounds here with a big tire. Just saying. Yeah. Big finale, right? You've got the speeds going out, nice big wide shot, changes to black and white to make my eyes realize I'm watching something different. And
the sound effect is actually from Thunderfoot when he does the double kick to Jackie in Drunken Master. So we got that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So the Drunken Master is
yeah, man, nice. Yep, done ya.
Rolling.
3, 2, 1. Action.
Brilliant. Even that feels credit in all the people.
Yeah.
So here I'm saying to Ryuske what he should be saying. Like there, I'm going like, okay, so because I was having to coach him through his gestures because again, there's a big language barrier. Like he didn't speak much English. So
Right.
with Ryuske, like he was going nah. I was like, no, go be more animated, bro. So, so he was just me just going so that's kind of like what was happening in that moment of time.
Gotcha.
Just spot him in case he hits his head on the floor. I won't. I'll be fine. Okay. Ready? Rolling.
That, you never know. Kelly version. Yeah, brilliant.
Like again, this part it kind of like really shows kind of like our connection as a family in terms of how much we're starting to come together and bond. Because at the end of stuff, we're always just showing each other love, like big hugs, because we were like, okay, we've made this together. We're at the end of the shoot. Still not the end because we've got to do the editing. But I mean, we're giving respect and love, where it's due for that section that we'd finish. So right there is what you're seeing is kind of like the development of our bond, really.
Yeah, man. That's brilliant. Fantastic, mate. Really, really, really fantastic. I love the nods you did to everything, the young master nods, but also the making it your own, putting your own thing into it. So as you said, you've got Thunderfoot doing the dang, you've got him doing this business, but you've gone, nah, but this would be the drunken version. I've just had a drink and yeah, very good, very good, very good.
Thanks,
really,
man.
really impressive, mate. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, so I think that's probably a good natural place to end. Because that kind of like wraps up the Drunken Master kind of like experience for us.
Gotcha. That's the drunken section. Yeah, brilliant. What a fantastic film. Lucky you for choosing. It's not luck, is it? All these things are meant to be. They're meant to be that you went there, and this time it was Drunken Master. I mean, they could have picked any Chan. You would have been all good because you love the stuff. But blimey, this was a brilliant one. You got to play Thunders. Yeah. This was great. As you said, you were talking about earlier that you wanted to involve everybody, and you got that opportunity pretty much straight away afterwards when he said you want to go and shoot it again. Off you went, and they're all in it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Doing good stuff.
Yeah, they are. They're all doing great stuff. I mean, I still wanted to showcase them more if possible, but they were all they all got a chance to showcase some of their skill sets in terms of okay, this is what we can do. So yeah, it was definitely good start for that.
Yeah, it's good, right? Sam Seed bloke. He's what's his name? Jack
Ryuske.
Ryuske. That's right. Right. So Ryuske, he did the old brilliant boot, right? The sort of acrobatic boot. He had some acting bits, where he could have a bit of. See, he kind of had a lot of personality in that, right? Because he had a bit on the floor and the chats and all that. He did the thumbs up, so he had a lot of personable moments with glimpses of kung fu, right? So you had the big bit where you went, well, I'm gonna make a big meal out of bomb, right? And you gave him a big flip. I mean, the other fella was doing absolutely loads of nunchucks and boot and everything, so he was going nuts with it. So that was brilliant. David done the old stunt and whatnot. So there was a lot going on. That I think you've done a great job. All of you did a great job of highlighting each other, and there's so much there. It's brilliant, man. Excellent stuff.
Yeah, I'm really proud of us and what we achieved for sure.
Yeah, mate, you should be. And all the constraints put on you, not just time, but everything, equipment, software, whatever. So there's to have that come out of it, where normally you just go, oh, that ain't quite right. I'll do that tomorrow. I'll do it next week. I'm tired of that now, because I noticed that if I edit vids, there's always a point where I go, I just need a break from this. I can't do this anymore. Actually, sometimes I do it until it makes me feel sick. So I go, right, I can't do this no more. I need a break. You didn't have that luxury, but you've got the spirit of the team around you, all wanting to achieve the same thing, all wanting to have something at the end of it that you could all be proud of. And you should be, mate. Nathan, brilliant. Love it.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Wicked, man. And thank you for sending me the clips, allowing us to review them like this and let people see them and share it as usual. I mean, it's just fantastic stuff. Thanks. It's such an amazing insight into what you went through again. Brilliant.
Yeah, my pleasure. I mean, you know, like I say, I really want to kind of like showcase what our experience of the JC stunt camp was. I'm not saying it'll be the same for everybody that, you know, that will go in the later years, like, because they're looking to always develop it and change it a little bit each time. So most people may not get the same experience that we got, but I can give you the experience in 2024. And yeah, it was the most beautiful experience of my life. Incredible.
Yeah, I'm sure, and I really, really appreciate you sharing that. Like I said, just with me alone, selfishly, thanks very much, because I love it. It's brilliant that other people can watch it as well. Should they choose to, it's there. We can point people towards it. Yeah, I know people that love Jackie Chan. I could go, look, watch this. It's, you know, you'll find it really, really interesting stuff that you would never find out otherwise, because people just don't. I don't know, they don't have the time or the inkling to do this stuff. So documenting this in this way is brilliant. You can tell us, you can send clips out, you can put things on your Instagram, and you do that. If anyone wants to find Nathan, just as I should say, RM_action design. This stuff is there, but this is a true look at how. So the clip is there. How did this get made? When they were asked, you know, we've done everything here, right? You were asked to do it. You were given an assignment. How much of it was you taught? How much of it was left to your own free will? What was the time limits? What was all the restrictions you had on it? You've even gone through submitting it, what they told you, feedback, what you could do after with the feedback, mate. Best. Thanks, man.
Oh man, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Like I said, I really enjoying, like, you know, being able to share this with you and everybody else.
100%. Thanks very much. And listen, as long as you're willing, we're back for more, right? We ain't done.
Mate, I got so much more to tell you, like, you know, special techniques that we got taught, big time directors that we worked with and things like that. Yeah, there's so much more to come, and the final assignment that we did, like, so much more.
Well, they're brilliant. I look forward to the next episode, man. Thanks very much, Nathan.
You too.
Yeah, best ever, mate. Thanks.
Yeah.
Drunken. It's all there, mate. Yeah. And you even gave us a good little demo of your.
Oh yeah, the snake.
Yeah,
the snake.
yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's all in the mix.
Cheers, mate. Thanks a lot. Thanks very much for doing that again, and I'll speak to you next time. Yeah.
Yeah. Speak to you soon. Peace.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. See you later. Brilliant.